There we go. Whew. So hello everybody, welcome back to Discworld Noir. I am not going to be stupid and stubborn anymore. I actually have the UHS open. So if I ever get stuck again, I'm not gonna be stupid or stubborn. I'm just looking up a hint on what the hell I'm missing.
Can we talk, or do I have business? Wait. Do you know what this is? It looks like a purse. I think I have something of yours in it. Really? Oh, yes, so you do. And what do you know? My memory is suddenly much improved. I thought it might be.
That's what we needed to do. We needed to talk to Whirl here and show him the money. Because he said that he's...
Veritanssi subscribed. Helostia pöytään.
Helostia pöytään sinnekin veritanssi. Thank you for the resub. As I was saying... So, to talk to with Whirl, he did say that his memory is not the best. That's because he wants money. And that's what I needed to show him. Our money purse. And now, we can talk to him about Sapphire.
You know a troll named Sapphire, don't you? Yeah, I know Sapphire. She's a good customer. Always plays with cash. Never wins anything. Some trolls aren't born lucky, I guess. She never wins. She wins a little, but she always loses it again. She can't hold on to money. Few people can in this place. By the time she walks out the doors, she's always a loser. Is there any chance she could have won big and you wouldn't know about it? If she won it here, I'd know about it.
Losing streak. There, we got something new.
I reckon a lot of meetings must go on here. I reckon so. Anything interesting you can tell me about? Sorry, any way I can... Listen, Lowton. Saturnalia is home to 100 meetings a night. Some secret, some not so secret. But the one thing that folks can be sure about is that if they want to meet in secret, they meet in secret.
I mean, he's got a point.
Anything more you can tell me about Sapphire's losing streak? What's to tell? That troll holds on to money like a drunken dwarf holds on to his temper. Time to excuse myself from the table, I think. Hello again, Warb.
Luton!
Let's talk to you about this losing streak. Maybe you know something.
Is your bad luck common knowledge?
Well, pretty much everyone knows I've got a losing streak.
Anyone else famous for their losing streak?
Well, the Sapphire. She's not very lucky. Other than that, no one springs to mind.
So I wonder who to talk to about this losing streak then. Huh.
Maybe I'll see you later.
I guess I should go back to Sapphire and ask about the losing streak. Maybe she'll finally open up about the money.
I've got some more questions for you, Sapphire. I know about your problems.
Problems?
The debts. The huge losses. You're struggling just to keep your head above water. I bet you've had to make all kinds of nasty compromises just to keep yourself going.
What you talking about? Who been saying such things about me?
Does it matter?
It mattered to Sapphire.
All right. I heard it from Whirl, and he should know.
Huh, Whirl. He don't know everything goes on at Saturnalia.
So, you won a lot of money at the casino.
Yes, already told ya. Big win.
You won big at the casino, but no one at the casino seems to remember you winning.
They lie. Sapphire won big.
And this mysterious meeting as well. You say that had nothing to do with the money.
Forget about meeting. Meeting not important.
Oh, it's very
Not
important.
important, eh? I think it is.
Uh-huh.
I say you met with someone and they gave you the money.
Uh-huh.
Someone who had something to hide.
Uh-huh.
Someone who'd pay good money to keep it quiet.
Like Therma.
Who was it, Sapphire?
No one.
Therma?
It wasn't no one who paid you, Sapphire. It was someone who was interested in me, wasn't it? Someone who didn't want me digging around after Therma. Why? What's so important that someone would pay you to cover up for them? Who is it?
No one.
You'd better tell me, because I'm going to find out one way or another.
Jeez, he's losing
And if
temper.
You don't tell me. When I find out who it is, I'll tell them you told me where to find them.
No, she'll kill me.
And it is Therma.
Who? Who'd kill you?
Therma.
Told you.
It was Therma.
Yep.
I've been blackmailing Therma. She not want to be found.
Therma is still alive?
Yeah?
Good. Arrange a meeting with her for me.
What?
You heard me. Face it, Sapphire, your little scam is broken. If you want me to keep quiet about your little windfall, you're going to have to fix a meeting with Therma for me.
Therma won't do it.
Well, you'd better make her do it. Because otherwise I'm going to go straight to the Guild of Thieves, Burglars, and Allied Trades to tell them about you. They don't take kindly to unlicensed blackmail.
You do that to me?
Oh, hell yeah.
Look into my eyes and tell me if I'm bluffing.
All right. Give me some time. I'll leave message at your office when it arranged.
I look forward to it. It's a pleasure doing business with you, Sapphire.
You're a cold one, Luton.
Not as cold as you, I reckon. I decided to leave Sapphire alone after that. I'd got what I wanted.
You're a cold one, Mr. Luton. I mean, he's not the Grinch, but... Nope, nothing here. So I guess we need to spend some time somewhere. Wonder what else we could do. Huh. I mean, we should try to get to talk to... I'm looking at hints right now. We should need to talk with Malachite about the object that he did steal. But I don't know how. Because it's not an option in our... stuff. Ah! That's interesting. I never noticed that. Let's take a look.
There was no doubt that it was Reagan, the poor sap.
Are you sure about that? That's Reagan? All dwarves look the same, you think?
One thing had been bugging me since I'd found Reagan's body. In the iconograph that the Count had given me, Reagan was bald. Here, in the flesh, Reagan had a full head of hair. I had to pull hard on his toupee to get it off. Reagan must have glued it on to stop it from flying off as he drove the carriage. Underneath the toupee was a small key. I guess it must have been important, or he wouldn't have glued it to his head.
Well, let's check this key.
Reagan had a small key under his toupee. It was basically glued onto his head, so I guess it was important to him.
I wonder if anybody would know about this key. The only one I can think of for talking to is the Count. I didn't click here. Game. Why are you also asking about the timeline? That's what Goblin asked at the beginning.
Sir,
Just as you said, in wonder, etc., someone on Discord just posted, me!
is the Count...
The timeline is Swede is yes.
Yes. Good questions. Go on.
I can't English today either. Fisk that typo. Nah, don't fisk it. No, you know where it's been.
I found this key on Reagan's body. I was hoping you knew what it opened.
No, I'm afraid I don't. But I don't think it's for anything in the mansion.
Okay. Maybe Carlotta might know?
Still here? Does this mean anything to you?
Be careful.
Okay, wasting her time, of course, because she's a bitch. Where could we go ask about this key? I mean, there weren't that many people who knew about Regan. But who would know more about his key? Let's think. It's a small
Reagan
key.
It was basically glued onto his head.
A small key. Small keys usually open small locks. Small locks go to chests. Lock boxes. Small locks for cupboards, closets, that kind of thing. Maybe that troll that took the thing from the same location? Malachite? Well, he's not the smartest around, but let's go ask him. Maybe he'll know.
Well, I didn't want to discuss Reagan's key with just anyone.
Apparently, we can't ask. Alright.
Always a pleasure.
Hey, what's up, worth a shot? Don't take my words out of my mouth. Jinx! Who else could we talk to about it? Who else knew about Regan? Well, there were some people who knew Rig. Didn't the people in Saturnalia actually know about Regan? He was a gambler here, right? Maybe World knows about it? Just a...
Can we talk? Wait.
I'm shooting at the barrels right now to see if I hit a fish. But we did talk about Regan, and he said that Regan was kind of a regular here, right?
A dwarf got... You wouldn't happen... No, so...
Well, let's see.
Now your pockets are getting fuller. Does this key mean anything to you? Yeah, I know what it is.
Ooh.
It's a safety deposit key for the boxes here in Saturnalia.
Ah.
Thanks.
Can you tell me anything else about it? Can we see these boxes? Can we open
Do you own this? Nah, you... Who owns... Probably... His... Long... Don't you... Nah, Time to
Well, at least now we know what it opens. Was that a deposit box that you took, Mr. Malachite?
Well, I didn't want...
Hey, Gabriel. I have made progress in the game because I looked up a hint. As I said before, Gabriel, I am not going to continue being stubborn and stupid. If I ever get stuck, I'll look up a hint.
Always a pleasure talking at you, Malachite.
I would have thought that we would get the deposit box to be a new topic to talk about. But I guess to Luton, it's not that important. Still no messages here. At least I can't see any notes or something on the floor. Yeah. Almost look like that's an item I could take. But I guess just his chair behind the stuff. Okay, so now what? Because I can't talk about the we know what the key does. No, sweet, no. This has been a lot easier. I mean, even this wasn't moon logic, that it was just something I didn't figure out myself. That's why I was stuck for an hour. Because I couldn't figure out one simple thing. When the hint was already in the speech of the character. I just didn't take the hint. Hey, Andrew! Thank you for the follow. I do not know, Andrew. I do not know. Moon logic isn't always fun, because it can get really frustrating, because it's all about just testing items on the stuff and see what happens. It becomes tedious and frustrating, but not fun. When it's frustrating and tedious, it takes the fun away from the adventure game. But at least even though there was tons of moon logic puzzles in the first game, the saving point of the first game is the awesome writing and the characters and the acting. So those save the game. Forget the puzzles, just enjoying the story. Nobby, can I even... Should I even bother talking to you?
I need your help again.
I highly doubt you're gonna...
What do you think this is the key for? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Oh? We have a new exit open? I already did that, Bannikin. Are you looking up a walkthrough? Oh, I'm sorry, you were answering Gabriel. I didn't notice Gabriel's question. Never mind, don't mind me. I'm just a dumb idiot. Yeah, I needed to talk to Whirl and use the purse as a topic to give him money. I mean, he even said that his memory is not that great. And it's because he wanted money. A bribe. I don't exactly remember what it was, but it certainly was not that one. So, whatever my idea was, Gabriel, it was the wrong kind. So we still would have been stuck in the game, no matter what. Ah!
I guess an upmarket establishment like Saturnalia needed safety deposit boxes. They certainly needed them more than I did.
Oh, we're gonna find out where this key goes. Because it doesn't have a number on it.
I figured a really good private investigator could do a lot of painstaking research and work out which box belonged to Reagan. But I figured, hey, the guy's a dwarf. So I just tried all the lockers on the bottom row. It fitted into box 39 like a glove. Eventually.
Clever. Why is there a mirror inside?
Inside was an envelope and a bracelet with carved wooden charms. The plot thickened.
No,
and
it
you could
thought
already
thickens.
stand a spoon up in it. The envelope had come from Reagan's safety deposit box, and I had a feeling that it was important somehow. The thing was, it seemed to be empty. I don't know why Reagan kept a charm bracelet in his safety deposit box, but I guess he wanted to keep it safe.
Well, if it was some kind of a powerful charm, it didn't help him. Because he didn't have it on him. Maybe that got him killed.
When I opened Reagan's envelope, I don't know what I was expecting. What I wasn't expecting was to find that the envelope was empty. There wasn't even anything written on the inside.
Huh. Fascinating. Why would somebody put an empty envelope into the safe deposit box?
Can we... I think this charm bracelet belonged to Reagan. Do you recognize it?
Sure. He used to wear that on the few occasions that he gambled, and that wasn't very often.
And when he didn't use it, it went in his safety deposit box?
I guess so. He used to hang on to it like his life depended on it when he played.
No, I'm sure Bannigan is correct that we need to rose tattoo the heck out of that envelope, as in hidden ink. Yep.
This envelope belonged to Reagan. Did you ever see him with it?
Sure. He carried it around the casino sometimes. I never knew what was in it, though.
Did he show it to anyone?
I guess. I don't know who, though.
Hello again, Warb.
Luton.
This mean anything to you?
What is it?
I was hoping you could tell me.
Some kind of charm bracelet, I assume. Is it like genuine?
What do you mean?
Is it lucky?
I don't know.
If it is, I might be interested in it.
This is an envelope that belonged to Reagan. Have you seen it before?
No, I don't think so.
You're not sure?
Sometimes it's like hard to be certain of like, well, anything.
I mean, he's correct there.
Maybe I'll see you later. Still here. Is this charm
It's Reagan's. Where did you find it?
in his safety deposit box? What can you tell me about the bracelet?
I think Reagan thought it was his lucky charm or something. I'm not really sure.
Did you ever see Reagan at Saturnalia?
Yes, he went there sometimes. He stayed well away from me when he did. He didn't much like me.
Was he wearing the charm bracelet in the casino?
Yes, I think he may have been.
Yeah, I can't think of any place where we could do anything with the envelope to see if it has like a hidden
Still
message
here.
on it or something.
I got a key from Reagan's body. It led me to this. It's empty.
It's empty.
Mean anything to you?
No, nothing.
I see.
Is the count? I've got a few more questions.
Go.
Recognize this?
Yes, I do. It is Regan's charm bracelet.
Charm?
I gave it to him.
Oh.
Is there something special about it?
It's been in the family for years. I'm not sure where it came from, but I believe that the charms were carved from the wood of the serendipitous redwood.
What? Serendipitous?
They were very, very old trees, and they grew very tall, up to a mile, if the texts can be believed. The trouble was they were very top-heavy, and the slightest wind would knock them over.
How did
Serendipitous?
they grow so tall?
That was the thing, you see. They'd fall over, but they were unbelievably lucky. They'd prop themselves up against each other like a house of cards.
Lucky trees?
Oh, believe me, as a student of flora, I have seen many such strange things evolve. Strangeness is indigenous to the Discworld.
What happened to the redwoods?
Someone cut one down, and the rest came down like dominoes. They crushed the fellow with the axe, I believe.
I guess they weren't so lucky for him.
Occurring or discovered by chance in a happy or beneficial way. Huh. So, in other words, lucky trees. I also like it that the charm has like it has a scythe, an eye, and a bone. Is that supposed to be a charm against death?
This empty envelope belonged to Regan. Does it mean anything to you?
Only writers.
Empty envelope? I don't understand.
Neither do I.
Strangeness is indigenous to Discworld. Never before have truer words been spoken. If somebody asks you to describe Discworld, there's only one word to describe Discworld with. Strange.
I'll be back later.
I look forward to it.
Excuse me. Still no message? Oh, Samael is still back there. No need to talk. Maybe he might know something about the bracelet. Like what it is or what it could do.
Samael. How's business? It's hard. Not think you haven't. Not that. Oh, that's. I don't. You're like. Why would anyone keep an empty envelope safe? I have no idea. Sorry, Mr. Luden. That's okay, Samael. I don't really understand it myself. Does this charm bracelet mean anything to you? Sorry, Mr.
Samael is of no help. What a big surprise. You'll have to excuse me, I'm gonna be full of burps today because I have eaten a cucumber and drinking Pepsi Max. So, Malaclips.
I need your.
There.
Any reason you can think of why a person would keep an empty envelope safe?
Just because it looks empty doesn't mean it is.
I know.
There could be a hyperspatial vortex in there, a link to some trans-dimensional cache.
Nope. I'm pretty sure it's just an empty envelope.
No, it's cucumbers can make you burp a lot, and Pepsi Max makes me burp a lot as well. So them combined, lots of burps.
Does this charm bracelet mean anything to you?
Well, well, it's a Gluckding carved out of serendipitous redwood from Uberwald, I guess.
What does it do?
It brings luck.
Good luck or bad luck?
Both. First, it brings good luck. Little stacks of felicitous circumstances. But sooner or later, the wielder pays for any good luck with a massive dose of bad luck. A giant omelette of doom delivered by a mad god.
Great. A mad god's omelette. Do you want it?
Are you insane? Give it to someone who's desperate.
So, it was pretty much just Regan's luck ran out with the charm. He used it so much in the Saturnalia that now he got killed. Makes sense. No, I don't have any reflux Bannigan because I don't have any stomach acid or anything with the burps. It's not a reflux. It's just some cucumbers make people burp more than other cucumbers. Just ask Gabriel. If I had a reflux, I would know.
Can we talk? Business waking.
Because my reactions wouldn't be just a burp. You would hear something else.
Hello again.
Luton.
I had a feeling that Warb might be interested in the charm bracelet, but I didn't know what he had to offer me yet. The one thing I knew about gambling was that you kept your cards hidden until you needed them. This is a... Have you seen...
No.
You're not...
Sometimes it's like...
See? Told you. Gabriel has told me this before. Usually on days when I'm being extra burpy and I told him that I ate a cucumber, he was like, aha, that's why you are burpy. I'd like to visit the diner where they have Omelette of Doom on the menu. I would also like to have a Mad God's omelette on it. Okay, where could we show this charm bracelet then? Envelope. Or where could we use this envelope?
Well? Does this charm... I had a feeling that the envelope wasn't something I should discuss with everyone I met.
Yeah, especially Malachite. Maybe Mooncalf might know something about this. You never know.
I have some more. This mean anything?
A child's charm bracelet, nothing compared to the power of Anu Anu.
I had a...
I don't remember anywhere that we have seen a flame or chemicals or anything that we could use to see what this envelope might have in it.
I thought it best to leave my desk alone.
Anybody remember any kind of place where we have seen like chemicals or fire or anything that we could use to advertise to see if this envelope might have something hidden in it? I don't remember. I don't remember seeing anything like that. Also, yet again, I'm stumped. Well, we're supposed to have a meeting with Therma. I feel like we should be going somewhere. And also, before I said that this is the Unseen University, but it's not. This is actually the Palace. This is Unseen University down here. This is the Patricia's Palace. At least I think this could be the Unseen University. It's got a nice park to it. Unless this is just the park, but that's definitely the palace. Maybe that's in his own. Is there even Unseen University anywhere here? Maybe they forgot to add that to the map. Think of anything. Hints? Can you help me out here? Okay, so that is exactly what I thought it would be. Hey, you held up? And she's gone.
Sapphire had a collection of Troll cosmetics, a granite filing stone, some colored sand, and various bottles. It all looked like junk to me. Sapphire, the mirror was a sad indictment of Sapphire's misconception that there was something glamorous about her job.
Anyone else notice that there is no other Luton? He's a vampire!
What do you know? I can see my face in the mirror.
I can't. So you're a vampire. But if he can see it, why can't we? I think they forgot something. The mirror image.
There was nothing. Nothing. There should have been. I couldn't think.
No message from Sapphire. Looking at the hints, I've pretty much done everything so far. what? The UHS is not helping me at all. It's actually making it worse. I'm gonna look up a walkthrough. Ah, seems that we have missed something in the Octarine Parrot.
Looking closely at the frayed rope hanging from the rafters, I knew that Mundy had been tied up by the legs and then hung from the ceiling. I didn't know why. Frankly, I wondered if I really wanted to know why. Something very strange was going on.
That's impossible to see! Can you guys see where the frayed rope is? Can anybody notice where that rope piece is? Yeah, it's right here. This little piece here, but you cannot really tell now, but when the lightning flashes, you can see a little glimpse of it. Why is it such a short rope? It should have been hanging a lot longer here so we could actually see it. God damn it, game designers. That's really bad designing right there.
Mundy's killer had it was bad in nothing. There should someone Mundy I had There was some frayed rope in the rafters of Mundy's room. I hadn't completely fathomed its relevance. The frayed rope in the rafters was the same as the rope around Mundy's legs. The rope that used to be tied to the grapple. That had to mean that Mundy was hung upside down and then killed. And that meant someone cut him down after he was killed. Curiouser and curiouser.
I guess they also have Alice in Wonderland. And I totally forgot that you can do this. That you can actually take one of these hints or your notes, double click and click on it, so you can use it to examine stuff.
They say that the universe is full of particles called
I said Alice.
Inspirations. One of them hit me at that moment because I suddenly realized something that should have been obvious. If Mundy was hung upside down, and if Mundy
Sweet
wrote
said salad.
the message, then the message was upside down. Turning it around in my head, I could see that it read 3712V. It wasn't a meaningless word after all. It was a meaningless combination of letters and numbers instead. Somehow that seemed much, much worse. I'd realized that Mundy had been hung upside down before he was killed, and that the message that seemed to say Azil might actually read 3712V. But I didn't know what it meant.
Alright, we got some new stuff to explore.
Come to persecute me. The man's got a... I've been thinking hard about Mundy's death, and there's something that doesn't add up. Oh, enthrall me with your erudite wisdom, great one. When Mundy was killed, he was hanging from the ceiling, but when the watch turned up, he was on the ground. Maybe the killer cut him down when he was dead. I don't think so. I think that message was written by Mundy, and I don't think the killer saw him write it, which means someone must have cut him down. Somebody who was in that room cut Mundy down. I don't think it was the killer, and I know it wasn't me.
What are you getting at?
You cut him down, didn't you?
Why should I tell you?
I've already told you, I don't think the killer would have cut him down. Which means if you cut him down, you're in the clear.
All right, yeah, so I cut him down. Happy now?
Why?
Not everything has a reason, Luton.
But people can usually find reasons for what they do.
Well, draw your own conclusions.
I was missing something, but I couldn't see what. You cut down Mundy so you could search him, didn't you?
What are you suggesting?
Nothing worse than the truth. You're a liar and a thief.
All right, Luton. What is it you want? What have I got to do to get you to leave?
Just give me what you found in Mundy's boot, and I'll leave you alone.
Here. You want it? Have it. It's worthless anyway.
What is it?
How the hell should I know? Now, I kept my end of the bargain. You keep yours. Leave me alone.
We'll see, Mencken. I figure I owe you at least one lie.
Get out, Luton.
In my own time, Mencken had given me a small coin. But it wasn't any type of coin I recognized. I guess I should be grateful to the half-elf for keeping the clue away from the watch. But frankly, I just didn't like the little weasel.
A coin. Curious. A lot of people haven't heard of cream. It's more salad dressing that people know of, not cream, Goblin.
The only time I saw Mundy, he was playing with this coin. A metallic flat disc with a square hole in the center. The coin had markings on one side that I couldn't read. It wasn't from any nation I'd ever heard of. Somehow, I wasn't surprised to find Al Kali waiting for me in my office.
Haven't seen him in a while.
In my head was a list of suspects for killing Mundy, and Al Kali had gone straight in at number 1.
Mr. Luton, I am so pleased to see you.
The feeling's not mutual, Al Kali. What do you want?
All in good time, Mr. Luton.
Why do I get a feeling that Al Kali isn't your real name? It's not very dwarfish.
My name is of little consequence, Mr. Luton.
Interesting name.
The story of how I acquired it will have to wait for another time. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Now, why would you want to carry an axe?
To hack at people, Mr. Luton. An axe is the weapon of choice for a dwarf, you should know that.
Why kill me now? What's the point?
I'm not planning to kill you, Mr. Luton. I merely need the axe as a deterrent should you wish to try something foolish.
I don't try foolish things. Sometimes they just happen.
Then I suggest you don't let them happen now.
When you've finished searching me, I know a nice restaurant we can go to.
So, you have been a busy man, Mr. Luton. I think you'd better come with me.
Is there an alternative?
Why is somebody calling me now?
How attached you are to your arms and legs, and how much you want them to remain attached to you.
Makes sense.
I didn't know where Al Kali was taking me. But I was now sure he wasn't going to kill me.
Okay.
He could have done that in my office, and it would have been days before anyone found the body. No, he wanted me for something. I just didn't know what. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting to be taken to see a troll. I've seen some
unusual things in my life. But a troll and a dwarf working together? That was something else. Ankh-Morpork wasn't hot at that time of year. But the big troll was sitting back in a wicker chair being fanned. Smart. Out of the cold of the mountains, overheating of their silicon brains was the reason for the trademark stupidity of the trolls. I'd have to watch my step with this one. Al-Kali had a brief whispered conversation with the troll, but I couldn't make out what was said. At one point, I thought I heard Al-Kali mention a coin from Sorta, but the rest was a mystery.
Mr. Luton, so glad you could come and join us, and so punctually, too. Yes, I know you were escorted by Mr. Al-Kali here, but the fact that you arrived on time shows that you didn't put up any show of resistance, which means you're intelligent enough to realize that we are not your enemies. And since we are not enemies, there is always the possibility that we might be friends. You are a quiet man?
No, I like to talk, but I like to dance, too. And the trick in both is knowing when to lead and when to follow.
Excellent, sir. Excellent. I distrust a quiet man. He generally picks the wrong time to talk and says the wrong things. A talking is something you cannot do judiciously unless you keep in practice. I'll tell you right out. I'm a troll who likes talking to people who like to talk.
Okay.
What shall we talk about?
What indeed do friends talk about?
Most friendships don't start out with one of the friends being led around by an axe-wielding dwarf. While we're at it, most people know the names of their friends.
Of course. How impolite of me. Mr. Al-Kali, I believe you already know. And my name is Jasper Horst. Perhaps you've heard of me.
Jasper
I have a bad memory
Horst.
for names. It gets me into a lot of trouble.
Interesting name
You
for
have
a troll.
bad attitude as well. That also gets you into trouble.
Now, Mr. Al-Kali. It doesn't do to slander a guest, especially one whom you hope to count among your friends.
Is held up Jasper Horst? Does it say mean anything to you? And also, that coolest voice. Well, he sounds like Michael Dorn. You know, Worf. Or Marcus from Fallout. Kinda has the similar tone to it, but I know that he doesn't act in this game, so it's just one of the other actors' voice modded. But it is a cool voice, though. And also, we should talk about how you're talking and your chin is disappearing into your chest. I mean, if you look at him when he's talking, you can see his part of his beard or chin just goes inside his chest. A great animation is what I'm trying to say here.
So, if we're friends, I guess Al-Kali's warning about staying off the Mundy case was just a friendly warning.
Straight to the point. I do admire a man who avoids skirting the issues. Such a man makes an excellent politician, but is almost impossible to trust. Well, sir, it seems you are now in the possession of something that we would like.
And what might that be?
Come now, sir. There's no need to play coy. We know you were the last person Mundy saw, and we know you have the coin from Sorter. Frankly, sir, we know you have the golden sword, and we wish to make an offer for it.
Golden sword?
I told you it wasn't for sale.
Don't be tedious.
And what if I told you I don't have it?
We know that you are in the employ of Carlotta. Hence we know that you have a price. Whatever she is offering you, we can safely offer double. And unlike Carlotta, I am a troll of my word.
What if she's offering me something that you can't match?
You don't strike me as a man who would fall for Carlotta's moves, sir. You strike me as a man with better judgment than that. Are you loyal to Carlotta?
I am loyal to one person and one person alone. Me.
That's wonderful. I do like a man who isn't afraid to tell you that he is looking after himself.
We're all looking after ourselves.
Indeed, sir. Indeed. And I don't trust a man who says he's not.
Trust seems very important to you, Horst.
Indeed. Without trust, we are no better than barbarians. It is the capacity for trust that sets the humans, trolls, dwarfs, and such above the lesser animals.
That and our capacity for cruelty.
What a dark outlook you have, sir. Are you a pessimist?
Pessimism is a term used by optimists to attempt to discredit those who see the world as it really is.
You are a
Interesting
man
point
of
of
the
view.
world, sir. I like that about you.
Tell me about the Golden Sword, Horst.
Carlotta didn't tell you what it was?
Horst seemed to think I knew things that I didn't, and that could give me the advantage. I decided it was time for a good bluff. She told me, but I took it for granted she was lying.
A not injudicious thing to do.
Well, that didn't work.
Does the word Azil mean anything to you?
Become, sir. Let us not stray from the matters in hand.
What do you know about the circumstances of Mundy's murder?
A strange question, sir. But you have your reasons, I'm sure. I must say I was impressed. Disguising the murder as a counterweight killing was clever. But knocking herself out after the murder was a masterstroke. A gamble, certainly. But the greater the risk, the greater the reward.
Even he thinks that we did it.
Does Al-Khali work for you?
Mr. Al-Khali and I have a complicated working relationship. He and I have been associates for some time.
Do you know a woman named Ilsa or a man named Two Conkers?
I cannot say I have made their acquaintance.
What exactly is your connection with Carlotta?
She didn't mention me to you? I'm not surprised. Carlotta is a model for deception. Never tell the truth when a lie will do. As for her connection with me, she and I are associates.
That doesn't tell me much.
Alas, sir, you are right. But what it tells accurately. And that should make up for the deficit of information conveyed.
And associates is enough to tell me that she is not a good person.
Do you know a troll by the name of Malachite?
I cannot say I have made their acquaintance.
Can you tell me anything about the counterweight killings?
I had assumed you would know more than I, sir. I know only what I've heard. That there is a spy from the counterweight continent in Ankh-Morpork, and that he is killing people in a manner that is both striking and extravagant.
That's what we heard too.
Do you know anything about Reagan's murder?
Become, sir. Let us not stray from the matters in hand.
Let's stray, please. I need answers to stuff. Well, there really isn't that much else to ask. So...
So Carlotta's an associate, and Al-Khali's an associate. You still haven't told me what you mean by associate, though.
Let's just say that the three of us share a common goal.
Associates mean that they work together. Not for anybody else. Nobody's their boss. Just common interest.
Let's cut to the chase. How much will you pay me for the sword?
Suffice it to say, I will pay you its value.
That doesn't give me much to go on.
You will appreciate, sir, that a golden sword like that is a difficult artifact to sell. Indeed, you would draw a lot of attention were you to attempt to do so. I will offer you what the sword is worth, and that, I can assure you, is more than Carlotta is offering you.
I could use a figure.
I don't like to commit myself to fixed fees. Those who set exact price tags leave themselves no room to negotiate when the circumstances change. Rest assured that it will exceed $10,000 at the least.
10,000, eh? I'll think about it.
I wasn't sure that they would use dollars as, you know, their currency in Discworld. I thought they used just gold coins and copper coins and such. But then again, what do I know? I'm no expert in Discworld economy.
Well, it's been nice talking to you, Horst, but I have other things to do.
I trust you will keep in touch, sir. I look forward to hearing your decision.
You're letting him go?
Come now, Mr. Al-Khali. Mr. Luton is our friend and associate. He is free to come and go as he pleases.
I'll let you know what I decide, Horst.
But of course, Goodbye, Mr. Luton. For now.
I was starting to piece together what was going on. Whatever this sword was, it was clear that Mundy brought it into town with him on the Milka. I guess he was the courier. For who, wasn't clear. He must have hidden it in one of the crates on the Milka and then broken into the warehouse to recover it. Only the watchman stopped him before he could retrieve it. None of which told me where the sword was, or even what the sword was. One thing was clear. I needed to talk to Carlotta.
It's a golden sword. Ah, that's Horst's quarters. Very pink. Ah. Now we have a card.
I knew that someone had pushed the card under the door, and I knew what it meant. It meant that I should have fitted a letterbox.
Have arranged meeting with Therma on the rooftops at the junction of Sally Street and Phaedra Road. Come immediately.
Salis and Phaedra. There wasn't much around there. Nice and quiet.
It's a great location for a secret meeting.
Sapphire had done it. I had a meeting with the mysterious Therma. Actually, make that the elusive Therma. An associate of Alkali's, whatever that means. Horst was a troll who was large on stature and fond of long, rambling sentences that rarely got to the point. I didn't trust him for a second.
So now we have a choice. Do we go talk to Carlotta or go meet with the Therma?
Still here?
Here's as good as anywhere.
Horst had spoken of a golden sword, and it was apparent that he thought I had it. There was a chance that the golden sword was somewhere amongst the Milka's cargo. The question was, where was the Milka's cargo now?
True. But it's probably in the pier where we've been before. Should it be too difficult to find?
I want to talk to you about something important.
Really? I can't wait.
Not here. It's too public.
Your place or mine?
Yours is probably safer.
Let's go.
We barely spoke at all on the way over, and there was a certain tension between us. Gods help me, I liked it.
Well, we're alone. What did you want to talk to me about?
You've got a lot of smooth moves, Carlotta. You've managed to string me along like a kitten.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about you lying to me, sister. I'm talking about the way you used me to track down Mundy. And how you were planning to cut me out of the action when I found him.
You're paranoid, Luton.
Oh, I know I'm paranoid. But just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean you're not a lying, thieving lowlife. Tell me about the golden sword.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I think you do. And so does Jasper Horst.
You spoke to Horst?
Yes, I spoke to Horst. And he seemed to think that I had possession of the sword. Apparently Mundy had it, only he died before he could deliver it. Horst thinks I killed him and took the sword.
I didn't want you to get involved, Luton. It was too dangerous.
Ah, don't pull the hysterical woman act on me, Carlotta. It won't work.
All right, you got me. I used you. Everybody uses everyone, Luton. It's the way of things. Friendships are just what happens when you've used someone for so long, it becomes habitual.
You're a bitter little lady.
It's a bitter little world. What now?
You tell me everything.
Interesting view
Why?
of friendship.
Because you need me.
I don't need anyone.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? But even you aren't totally independent, Carlotta. You need the Count's money, for one. One word from me and I could get you cut off.
He wouldn't dare. He's too bound by tradition.
Perhaps, but can you really afford to take that chance?
What's the deal, Luton?
Straight cut. I'll help you recover the sword. We split the profit.
You think you can trust me enough for that to work?
No, but this isn't about trust. It's about money. You don't trust me any more than you trust Horst. But I figure you'd work with him if it got you the money.
You're smart, Luton, but you've got one thing wrong.
What's that?
I trust you more than I trust Horst.
Oh, I'm touched. But I reckon you'd trust a rattlesnake before you'd trust Horst.
You're a good judge of character.
Hang around with scum long enough and you learn to tell the different types of scum apart. Horst is the treacherous kind.
What about me?
You're just a woman, Carlotta, and that's not a compliment.
Why do you hate women so much?
I hate everyone and everything. No one gets special treatment. Now tell me the real story between
A
you
true
and
private eye right there.
Mundy wasn't my lover. He was my contact. He was supposed to be bringing the artifact in from Sota. But something went wrong on the way. I don't know what it was, but Mundy never made his rendezvous. I went with Reagan to the wharf to meet him, but he wasn't there.
Do you know what happened to Reagan after that?
He dropped me at the Temple of Small Gods, and that's the last I saw of him.
Did he know what was going on?
Reagan? Ha! No, I never told him anything. Everything I told him would have gone straight to the Count.
That would give you a pretty strong motive for killing Reagan.
My, you are a suspicious one, aren't you?
It's a hobby. Anything else you haven't told me?
I'm sure there's plenty of things I haven't told you. The girl's got to have some secrets.
You're trouble, Carlotta.
Admit it, Luton. You like trouble.
What if I do?
I know what's going on inside of you, Luton. You're just like any other man, only a little more so.
When she kissed me, fire burned in my veins and I felt alive. Have you ever kissed someone who you didn't know whether to love or to hate? Well, other than your parents.
Well, did you see
Not
that coming?
I'm prying into your private life. Just trying to get my point across. Something changed in me at that point, and I knew I'd never be the same again.
I guess we have a deal then.
With my brains and your looks, we could go places.
What about with my brains and your looks?
We could still go places. They just wouldn't be as nice.
Ouch. That whole conversation was just, like, pure Noir writing.
You must have known something about the Milka's cargo.
Yes, I had a crate amongst the cargo. It wasn't carrying anything important. It was just for Mundy to hide the sword in if it became necessary.
But the sword wasn't in the crate.
No, the last I saw of the crate, Reagan had it. I don't know where it is now.
Do you have anything that might help me find it?
I have a shipping order. You can have it if it's useful to you.
It could be. Any lead is a good one at the moment.
No, Goblin, I haven't. Probably never will, because I don't like those games. It's just like Uninvited. They have those hidden, awful time limits, and I hate games with time limits. Especially when it's an adventure game. It makes it so unfair of a game to play through.
Tell me about Horst.
What's to tell? He's a treasure hunter, as ruthless as they come. He'd sell his own mother to get what he wanted. Rumor has it that he pushed his father off the mountain when he was just a pebble.
Have you had any dealings with him in the past?
Occasionally. Horst is the kind of troll you try not to work with unless you really have to.
Some unfair moments in the games. Like you have only a few seconds to react before somebody shoots you, and those kind of moments. All in all, Uninvited and Deja Vu games are not that fun to play. Timing puzzles are, yeah, the other thing that I hate. Timing puzzles. Only reason for a time limit in an adventure game is to solve a puzzle. Well, the puzzle in the whole game, especially the first Deja Vu game, Bannigan, is you're poisoned. And you have to find the antidote towards the end of the game. But you only have a certain time limit to do so. Just like in Uninvited, in that game you have there is an invisible time limit that once the time limit is up, all hell breaks loose on Earth. Because you're trying to stop the summoning of a devil or something, if I remember correctly. But those games are also full of lots of, not lots of, but there are some moon logic puzzles in them that are like almost impossible to figure out. Great atmosphere in both in all of the games, but goddamn are they difficult to play, and I don't like them. I just don't like playing them.
I hope so.
I mean, they are cool games to watch, like a long playoff, but don't make me play them. I would hate it. I have tried playing Uninvited, I did get pretty far in it, but still. No, Blade Runner doesn't have a timer in it, no. Rise of the Dragon has a time limit, sort of. But Blade Runner doesn't have a timer at all. What were we doing next?
Carlotta had given me the shipping order for the crate she had on the Milka. I've come to collect some cargo.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm gonna swallow that, aren't I? I mean, you come up asking questions about cargo, and I won't tell you about the cargo. Then, miraculously, you're here to collect some cargo. You must think I was born yesterday.
Well, I can always take this shipping order to your boss and say that you wouldn't let me collect my cargo.
Okay. Well, let's not be too hasty, eh? I mean, I have to be skeptical, right?
Right.
I'm a watchman.
Mm-hmm.
Where would we be if people like me weren't just a little bit cynical? All right. You win.
I eventually persuaded the watchman to show me the ledger for the recent deliveries. The Milka had been carrying some wine barrels that were shipped to the Café Ankh and some crates under the name Varberg. According to the watchman, they were collected by the Guild of Archaeologists, Antiquarians, and Tomb Evacuators. I guess somewhere was the von Uberwald crate that went with the shipping order. But the watchman didn't know about it, and there was no sign of it in the warehouse.
He has a weird ear. Well, his whole model is weird. Look at that face. Look at that ear. Ugh. Disgusting. Guild of Archaeologists. Now, let's see.
Weird, gross!
Ew! Rooftops above Salis and Fedra. Okay. Well, since we got a lead to the Café Ankh, let's talk to Samael about the shipment.
Samael. Do you know anything about the crate belonging to the von Uberwalds that was on the Milka?
Sorry, Mr. Luden, I don't know.
Apparently, some of the cargo on the Milka was delivered here.
That's right. The Milka always brings us a supply of Ephebian wine.
Where is it now?
Most of it is still in the wine cellar. We sell some of it on.
Who to?
Lots of different people. I have a box of receipts in the cellar if you're interested.
Sure.
I'll give you the key.
Heck to the yeah. We actually can go into the cellar now. No golem working tonight, huh?
Years ago, it would have been my dream to stand in the Café Ankh's wine cellar. So many barrels of fine wine. Even Chateau Hector, Year of the Weevil. My favorite vintage. I used to dream of Ilsa, too, from time to time.
Year of the Weevil.
So when I walked in to find Ilsa there, I had to check I wasn't wearing my pajamas.
Ilsa and two conquerors were hiding here. What is this, Casablanca? Well, it was inspired.
Most of the wine barrels in the Café Ankh cellar had been brought into Ankh-Morpork on the Milka. My ex-lover Ilsa and her companion two conquerors were hiding out from the Assassin's Guild in the wine cellar. Hello again, Ilsa. I can see I'm going to have to get used to finding you where I least expect. You didn't say goodbye at the casino. What happened to you?
We got away, thanks to you.
It was nothing.
It wasn't nothing. You saved our lives, Luton.
Lulu, is that you?
What's up with him?
He's delirious. He's been injured.
Let me have a look at his wound.
He'll be fine. He needs a chance to rest, that's all. He fades in and out a little, but he'll be okay.
What happened?
It was Remora. He's been following us. He won't quit.
He's an assassin. It's his job. Once they've been paid, the target is as good as dead. They never renege on a contract. They throw great soirees as well. And if they invite you, they won't take no for an answer.
That's not much comfort.
Well, at least you know if an assassin kills you, you're not going to be killed by some thug. They're very efficient at it. Practice makes perfect, you might say. I was going to be an assassin once.
What happened?
The usual. Forces outside my control.
It is you, from Casino. You save our life. We to be in your debt.
I guess you to be just that.
We need your help, Luton.
Haven't I done enough for you?
I know it's a lot to ask after what happened.
Women. It's never enough for you, is it?
Please, you have to find us somewhere safe to hide.
Is this not safe enough?
Why should I do that for you? Why should I do anything for you?
Not for what happened, Luton. For what we had. Once.
We had a dream. Trouble is, I woke up and I could still remember it.
Harsh.
Does he know about us?
Two conquers? No, I never told him.
Why not?
He's my husband.
You're married?
I always was. Even when I met you.
What?
Why didn't you tell me?
It's not as simple as that.
No, it's
I
not.
met two conkers in Ikalpon. He was on a secret dig for the Sun Emperor, and we fell in love.
I thought the Agateans weren't supposed to know about the outside world.
That's true, but the outside world isn't supposed to know about the Agatean Empire either. Trouble is, centuries ago, their empire spread beyond the counterweight continent, and there's archaeological evidence for the strange and charmed Quack dynasties all along the Turnwise Ocean coast.
Quack
The Sun
dynasties?
Emperor sent two conkers out to cover up the evidence.
This doesn't explain why you didn't tell me you were married when we met.
Two conkers went back to the Agatean Empire, and I stayed behind. He wasn't sure I'd be safe there as an outsider. I didn't think I'd ever see him again. He might as well have died. I almost died too, until I met you.
Great. I was your number 2 husband.
You don't understand, Luton. I didn't love two conkers. I mean, I was infatuated with him, and he needed me. I was nothing before I met him. He gave me a purpose. He gave me a life.
Oh, that's good. Because he took mine. At least his accounts will balance. He came back, didn't he? That's why you left me.
Yes. I got a letter from him saying that the government had been overthrown, and the Empire was a new world. I wanted to tell you, but I didn't think you'd understand.
At least you got that right. So, you're Mrs. Ilsa Conkers.
No, I kept my maiden name. Our marriage was supposed to be a secret.
Well, she pretty much just explained that to her, Two Conquerors was pretty much dead because he left back to his empire. But since they couldn't know about the other, continents, because it's a big no-no, he was like good as dead. So she started dating Luton then. It's complicated.
So you've been traveling with Two Conkers for quite a while now.
Yes, we've been making our way around the Circle Sea. There have been several digs.
And everything you find goes back to the Agatean Empire.
No, not now. There's no point. Most of it comes here to Ankh-Morpork. We give it to the Guild of Archaeologists, Antiquarians, and Tomb Evacuators. They have quite a collection of artifacts.
That's it? You spend your life digging up junk that no one ever sees?
We're looking for something. Something Two Conkers wants to take back to the Agatean Empire.
What is it?
A jewel.
Jewel. Find the jewel, yes?
Tell me about this jewel.
Gold-plated jewel. Very old.
I thought the Agatean Empire had plenty of gold.
Special artifact. Gold to be making it come from Agatean Empire. Stolen by one of your gods. Great fortune to Empire if it can be returned to us.
How will you know if you found it?
Gold-plated jewel not common. This jewel be having inscription. Unquam paratas.
It means forever ready.
You don't even know if this jewel actually exists, do you?
We've just come from a dig in Sorta. It's a village near the ruins of the ancient city of Sort. We found inscriptions there of many artifacts, including this jewel.
Fascinating.
It exists, all right. We just haven't been able to find it.
Very fascinating. I mean, at least they're not looking for a golden sword, but it could be connected to it somehow. Maybe. Who knows?
If all these inscriptions were in Sorta, what are you doing here in Ankh-Morpork?
That's just it. The inscriptions claim that the jewel is here in Ankh-Morpork. Apparently, after the fall of Sort, the jewel was held by monks in the village of Sorta. But over 4 centuries, the Knights of the Order of the Sacred Tulip went out on quests to find it.
Why?
They were knights. They went on foolish quests all the time.
Yeah,
it was
true.
a knight thing. I think all the different orders competed to outdo each other in
Sacred
foolishness.
Tulip.
I heard the Knights of the Fairly Pink Triangle spent 2 centuries
Fairly
looking
Pink
for
Triangle.
a better name.
And you think one of the knights found it?
Where's the Zelda when I need
The
him?
inscription said he took it to Ankh-Morpork, there to guard it forever.
Forever?
You know these ancient inscriptions. They have a tendency to exaggerate everything. It probably meant nearly forever.
Where is a Zelda when you need him? I mean, Zelda was here, but they haven't spoken in a long while. I even asked a question earlier, but they didn't answer. Oh, okay. I mean, it should be a common thing when I start asking about, like, some names that pop up in the game. And when I start repeating the names, it usually is that, hey, Spider-Man wants to know more about these things that do they exist in the books and such.
I didn't think they had any...
So, let's see. Jasper Horst. It's gonna be just names if they do ring a bell, okay? So Jasper Horst is only in this game. What was they? The Knight Order of the Sacred Tulip. And the other one was the Order of the Fairly Pink Triangle. Both are mentioned in Thief of Time, but only passing mention, alright?
Do you know anything about the wine barrels the milker was carrying?
Sorry, Luton. We don't know anything about that.
Do you know anything about the...
I don't think we can...
I'm trying to track some of the cargo on the milker. A set of crates that were supposed to belong to a Varberg.
That's me, Ilsa Varberg.
You never told me your name was Varberg.
Names weren't that important to us back then, if you remember.
I guess not. So the crates are yours?
Mine and two conkers, yes. They should be at the Guild of Archaeologists by now.
What was in them?
Artifacts from the dig in Sorta. Nothing valuable except in the historical sense.
I need to get to them.
I can get you into the guild if you want, but it'll cost you.
What do you want?
Find us somewhere safe to hide two conkers. He's not safe while Remora is looking for him.
That's true. But nowhere in the city is going to be safe.
You'll have to find somewhere that no one would even think of looking for him.
It'd take a miracle to conceal two conkers, and the patrician has outlawed miracles.
That's my price. If you hide two conkers, I'll sign you into the guild. You'll never get in there without me.
I'll do what I can. That's all I can do.
That's all I ask.
If I find somewhere to hide him, you'll take me to the crates?
I'll get you into the guild, but you're on your own after that. That's my offer. Take it or leave it.
I'll take it. I'll be back.
We're not going anywhere.
Just like Samael had told me, there was a box of receipts in the cellar. I rooted carefully through the receipts, and the only recent purchaser was the patrician. It seems he'd bought a number of barrels of fine wine to take to the palace. I guess the golem I'd seen at the cafe was owned by Lord Veterinary.
Well, if we hide them in a barrel, it will be truly a barrel of laughs.
The Guild of Archaeologists, Antiquarians, and Tomb Evacuators.
That's why I said it would be a barrel of laughs. Is there this kind of a guild exists in the books too? I'm sure of.
The Guild of Archaeologists, Antiquarians, and Tomb Evacuators.
That's what the next spin-off of Tomb Raider should be called, a Tomb Evacuator. It would be a catchy name for a game, right? Are you some sort of a Tomb Raider? No, I'm a Tomb Evacuator. When I visit a tomb, I make sure that it'll be empty once I get before I get out of there.
The Patrician's Palace. The Patrician's Palace.
I wonder if it's the Patrician's Palace.
The meeting with Therma had been arranged high up above the streets of the city.
How about we go to the meeting now?
I decided to go on alone to meet with Therma, but when I reached the rooftops, she wasn't there. As I waited, I started to think about the situation. The more I did, the more I decided that I ought to go and get Malachite. Frankly, hooking him up with Therma was probably the only way to get him off my back. Maybe it'd help me get some answers out of Therma, too.
Oh, Malachite!
Well? It's not been easy, but I've arranged a meeting with Therma.
Take me there. Take me to Therma.
In a moment. First, there's a couple of things we need to discuss.
Take me to Therma. Take me now.
Okay. Let's go. The rooftops above Salis and Fedra were quiet. No one had a reason to be up here. I was looking forward to meeting the mysterious Therma, and I was hoping I might get some answers out of her. Unfortunately, the last thing I remembered was looking up at the moon.
Right, he got knocked out again.
The next thing I knew, I was being arrested by the Watch. They told me Malachite was as dead as two sides of bacon, and I was the prime suspect.
Now Malachite is dead.
His back had been chipped away like he'd said something particularly insulting to a disgruntled quarry workman, and they seemed to think my crowbar was the murder weapon. I had the opportunity and a possible murder weapon. All they were missing was motive. And anyone who had ever tried to get an intelligent comment out of the troll had a motive to kill him. It looked like I'd been stitched up as nicely as a fine genuine tapestry.
Genuine?
They took me to Pseudopolis Yard to be interrogated. They had a salamander lamp shining in my eyes, so I couldn't see what was going on. But I could hear Nobby and a troll talking in the darkness.
A troll?
It was probably Detritus, the first troll to join the Watch. Detritus was the troll many people in Ankh-Morpork thought of when they heard the word troll, bringing back as it does vague memories of sudden concussion and extreme pain. Sometimes you'd hear two short planks being described as thick as detritus. Your ideal street cop, in fact.
So I'm a good cop?
No, I'm the good cop. You're
it's
the
not
bad
genuine,
cop.
it's genuine.
Why don't I get to prod him about
Genuine.
Because we're supposed to get information out of him.
Also,
it's hard to
detritus?
understand people talking through a mouthful of loose
Or
teeth.
detritus?
I can smash lightly, more like a gentle caress, right?
No punching.
I can kick using minimal acceptable force. Like Mr. Vimes says, lots of it.
No, No punching, no kicking. We just talk to him.
Talk?
Right, well, I'll talk. You shout.
All right, you done it. Own up now, we know it was you.
No, no, not yet.
Oh, all right.
I've just got to start the audiograph.
Right. All right, you done it now. You've got to sing like one of them flappy twittery things.
Wait! I've got to start the recording properly, otherwise it doesn't count. Right. Interviewing suspect Luton. Present, Corporal Nobbs and Sergeant Detritus.
Now?
Now.
All right, you done it. You might as well make it easy on yourself. Everyone know it was you.
This is my interrogation, is it?
Don't you change the subject, you miserable excuse for our horse's donkey.
Horse's donkey?
Luton.
Here are the facts. Fact. Monday was killed. You found at the murder scene.
A horse's donkey.
I was unconscious.
That's what I should start calling.
He was unconscious if he was unconscious, eh? Foiled you with logic. Now you listen to me good, and then we see who wears the long two-legged garments. Fact. Escape thingy, Mount Malachite.
Thingy? You mean troll?
Nah, not escape troll. Escaped,
Feline.
Escaped feline?
Yeah.
A
He
cat.
escaped from a holding cell.
Is it possible the word we're looking for here is felon?
That's the one.
What did he do?
Hey, we asked the questions, you miserable arugaraha. You know what arugaraha mean?
No.
He knocked over the Van Uberwald mansion.
I never knocked over the von Uberwald mansion.
Now, that's what Malachite did.
So what does arugraha mean?
In the precise moment that dog droppings turn white.
I think you'd better get back to being the bad cop.
I am the good cop.
Now, I'm the good cop.
So that make me...
They're a great duo.
Cop.
So how come I not get to hit you then?
We can't beat him up, Detritus. That'd be police brutality.
It only brutality if you leave marks. What show? Escape thingy, Mount Malachite. Was killed. And you was found at the murder scene there too.
Once again, I was unconscious.
Oh, how convenient for you. 2 murders and 2 unconsciousness.
Unconsciousness.
What about the murder weapon, eh? What about the crowbar?
Tell us where you got the crowbar, and I'll give you a smoke.
One of your dog ends? No, thanks.
I'll get you coffee. Maybe some cherry cake. New suit. You get to choose the colour.
I think you're taking this good cop role too seriously.
Thank you. Now my turn. You want to fall down the steps to the cell without leaving your chair? It's fine by me.
This interrogation is going swell for them, isn't it? So, protest innocence or say what happened. Which one should I choose? Innocent? Or just tell them what happened? Can't really decide which one to answer. Yeah, since say what happened. I'm sure it doesn't really matter. Maybe. I think I'm gonna go with the innocence protest. You say that doth protest too much, methinks, but let's protest some more, shall we?
I'm not guilty, and I refuse to feed your suspicions and paranoia by consenting to this charade.
I thought charades were a game, like chase my neighbor up the passage.
No, you need a pack of cards for chase my neighbor up the passage.
Not where I come from.
We're trying to do you a favor. We could give you to the Lawyers Guild.
You don't want that, Luton. They'd eat you alive. You don't have anywhere near enough money to be innocent.
Haven't you got better things to do than harass me?
We harass you 'cause you is guilty. We knows you done it.
That's enough, detritus.
Oh, thanks.
Sir?
You can go.
I did it right?
Let's say you were everything I expected. Now go and write up the report. Not in crayon this time, please.
That should keep him busy for a few days.
He may be slow, but he's not an untrustworthy killer like you.
Why the personal interest in this case, Vimes? I'm sure you've got more important things to do now you're commander of the watch.
My reasons are my own.
You're not interested in my guilt or innocence. You're just out to nail me.
Frankly, Luton, I've got all the evidence of your guilt I need, and if I get my way, they'll lock you up and melt down the key for scrap iron. You're a bad cop, and I don't have any time for you.
If you're so convinced of my guilt, why the interrogation?
Nobby has this deranged idea that there might be some extenuating circumstances that we ought to find out about.
It'd make everything a lot easier if you'd confess, Luton. I'm sure you had a good reason to do what you did. Let us help you. Cigarette? Holiday for two in Quirm, sea-facing room, we pay the minibar bill.
I'm not guilty, and I'm not confessing to a crime I didn't commit.
Listen to me, Luton. We're conducting this interrogation because I believe in upholding the law.
Quirm doesn't sound like a lovely place, though.
There is no law in Ankh-Morpork.
True enough, but there's my law, and there's the patrician's law. Which would you rather face?
What's the difference?
Lord Veterinary considers it a happy state of affairs if the punishment can involve the actual perpetrator, but sees it as by no means essential. I consider it to be absolutely essential.
But you've already decided that I'm guilty.
That doesn't mean I've proved it.
And if I prove my innocence?
That's not going to happen.
Then what's the point of this farce?
Smoke?
No.
The thing is, Luton, we just want to find out what happened.
Do one decent thing in your life, Luton. Help us close this case.
Why should I?
So we can close this sorry little act and concentrate on the threat to the city.
The threat?
The counterweight killings.
Then why don't you just focus on that and forget about Luton?
Doesn't it make more sense that both Mundy and Malachite were killed by this so-called counterweight killer?
That's what you'd like us to believe, isn't it? You make the murders look like the counterweight killings and hope to get away with it.
That's it, isn't it? You're not interested in me. You want to catch the counterweight killer.
You're just a low-life killer, Luton. My job is to protect citizens from people like you.
What? You don't even like them much. You think they're all criminals.
Maybe. But murder leaves the place too messy.
Look, Luton, we don't think you're involved with the counterweight killings. But we have to know which ones are which if we're going to stop him from killing again. This is your chance to be a hero. To help us to catch a foreign assassin.
A hero? There's nothing I can do to save myself. Why should I care about the rest of the city?
You were a good man once, Luton. This could be your one shot at redemption.
I was never that good a shot.
You ought to know, Luton, that you're a suspect in the counterweight killings. That crowbar of yours was palace property, which means you had access to at least one of the murder sites.
You're getting desperate, aren't you?
We're wasting our time with you.
Well, he could say that we got the crowbar from the back of the cart at the cafe. I mean, it's truth. Hazelnote?
Will you explain to me why you're so confident that Mundy and Malachite weren't killed by whoever was responsible for the rest of the counterweight killings?
Everyone else has been sort of important. Mundy and the Troll were nobodies.
Quiet, Nobby.
You're crazy. You think you found a pattern and you're forcing everything else to fit it.
We're doing our job.
Doing a real good job about it, too.
Surely you have other suspects for the murders I'm accused of, even if you don't think they're part of the counterweight killings.
Smoke? A set of the complete plays of Hwell the Dwarf bound in nearly real leather?
Hwell the Dwarf?
No, I don't want a smoke. I want to know who the other suspects are.
At the moment, you're top of our list.
Although you are the bottom of our list, too.
I am the list, aren't I?
Sorry.
Don't apologize, Nobby. Listen, Luton. There are other suspects for the counterweight killings, and we're investigating those. But for Mundy and the Troll, you're the bottom line.
It's gonna be a hot week, well, it has been a hot week, Sinlau. Melting hot.
What about Al-Khali?
Al-Khali?
One of Horst's cronies. I think he's been following me.
I guess I could interview him.
Why do I have a feeling that you won't?
Face it, Luton. You killed Mundy. You killed Malachite. And you tried to make it look like it was part of the counterweight.
And then he knocked himself out somehow.
What about Reagan?
The dead dwarf? What about him?
Another murder in suspicious, almost ritualistic circumstances. He's a nobody, but it has all the hallmarks of a counterweight killing.
Are you confessing to the murder of Reagan?
No. I'm just saying that Mundy and Malachite aren't the only nobodies to get bumped off in mysterious circumstances.
There was nothing mysterious about Reagan's death.
People don't just drive carriages off a bridge for no reason.
He was driving recklessly across the city. It's probably just a suicide. Maybe he was just drunk.
What about the bite marks?
Bite marks?
There weren't any bite marks. I looked.
Reagan was murdered. I'm sure of it.
You've got bigger problems than that right now, Luton. I suggest you concentrate on them.
Hot, dry, wet, thunderous, etc. here. Which exactly is it? I mean, you cannot be all the weather at the same time, Sinlau.
Nothing I say is going to convince you of my innocence, is it?
It doesn't look that way.
All right. Yes, I was in Mundy's room when he was killed, but I was unconscious. And yes, I was on the rooftops when Malachite was killed. Again, I was unconscious. I don't know what happened, but somebody knocked me out, and whoever they are, they're the one you should be looking for.
Fine. If that's the way you want it, that's the way you'll get it. Give my regards to Lord Veterinary when your trial comes up. I doubt he'll be as patient with you as I have. The fact is, mister, that with you behind bars, the city will be a slightly better place.
They delivered me into the hands of the palace guards, who delivered me into the walls of a holding cell. I had a bad feeling about the way things were going. Mostly people who were sent to the patrician for trial got seen right away. Rumor had it that being put in a holding cell pending trial was like being filed away in a drawer marked forgotten. And not a very big drawer at that.
Right. We have been arrested. It took much stiff. Oh, hello, rat.
The door to the cell was so stereotypical I half expected to look around and find a bearded old man manacled to the wall. The wall to the cell had a nice dank feel to it. I expect it was cell wall of the month in Home and Dungeon.
Well, I guess he's better in the books, but here he just has a, you know, a personal vendetta against Luton. So I guess Mimes is written here differently because of Luton.
The wall to the cell had a nice dank feel to it. I expect it was cell... I pounded on the door, but no one seemed to care. Fast little fellow, he disappeared the moment I started moving.
Triggered part for me will never admit that's why. What? I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about there, Gabriel. I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about. Suddenly, what's happening? Gabriel, are you having an episode again? Even Bannigan is confused. I seriously have no idea what you're talking about. I think I've broken the rat. Because it's not moving and I cannot target it.
I pounded on.
Well, ain't that just dandy?
I could find nothing out of the ordinary about the wall.
I wonder what I need to do with the rat. Ah! There it goes. Finally.
The rat had disappeared in a small crack in the wall. The question was, where had he gone?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll never admit. Yeah. I agree on that. I mean, why would he admit it? He hates Luden that much. I mean, that's obvious that he hates Luden that much that he'll never admit it. That he's targeting Luden only for personal reasons.
As I worked my fingers around the crack, it became clear that the crack was the side of a loose slab. The block was loose, and I was certain I could move it.
Well, Eselta, you mentioned this Leonard of Quirm.
The other side of the wall was another cell, but nothing like the holding cell. This was full of sketches and models, tools and materials. It looked more like a workshop, and there was someone working in it.
Can you guess who this is?
Would you like a cup of tea?
No, thanks.
Are you sure? Or are they not drinking tea outside anymore?
Outside?
The city. I take it you're from the city. How is it? Same as ever, I suppose.
You're Leonard de Quirm.
Yes, I am.
I'd found Leonard de Quirm. The man was almost a legend. There was no disputing that Leonard was a technological genius. But this meant he was as dangerous to the precarious stability of Ankh-Morpork as a compulsive smoker in a firework factory. Rumor had it that the patrician had locked him in a nice airy cell for everyone's safety, because Leonard was the kind of guy who'd light any fuse for the innocent pleasure of seeing what kind of bang he could make. The only other thing I could recall was that although the guy was hot stuff at the nuts and bolts, he was definitely at the bottom of the class when it came to thinking up names. The patrician keeps you imprisoned here,
Sorry?
You're working for the patrician?
Not really. He calls from time to time and has a look at some of my sketches. Nice man. He keeps me abreast of events on the outside.
What's that you're working on?
This is my flapping wing flying device. I built a small prototype out of gutta-percha strips, twisted tightly together, and it worked. Although not very well. Now I'm building a full-scale model.
Does it fly?
Not yet. But once I've solved the problem of the weight of the holding it together frame and the mechanical faults with the spinning blades radiating from the central hub, it should do.
I see the naming thing now.
Getting enough force to twist the blades together. But the troll the other week sorted that out for me.
Troll?
Yes. He was staying in your room before you. He made this window for me so I could watch the bird. Always good for inspiration are the birds. Not that I don't have enough inspiration as it is. Damn things. Just once I'd like to wake up without finding my sheets covered in sketches of novel designs for apple peelers.
Did you give the troll some metal strips by any chance?
Yes. He made them into a metal hook with prongs, I believe. Not one of my designs.
His name was Malachite.
Was it? It's possible. I never was good with names.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell that he is not good with names. Kind of behavior just happens to be the sort of thing that makes me want to throw someone downstairs repeatedly. So the kind of behavior I do, uncontrollably, like you know, I can stop. Not a good combination for mental health.
Covered with wood, wire, paints, drawing materials, sketches, cartoons, and glue. The table was either the product of a highly deranged or a highly arranged mind.
Well, have you guys tried Googling it? I don't know, it's kind of hard to figure it out of who he is supposed to represent in Discworld. You know, it's not like there's something right in front of us somewhere that it could give us a clue on who he is parodying here. At least I haven't noticed anything. Totally not the, you know, twirling the cursor around to show you the exact thing that is supposed to tell you exactly who this guy is parodying. Nuh-uh, not at all. I mean, this is the just maybe I might be pointing out the most obvious Zelda. Not just several things, but the most obvious one. Like, a doy. If you don't get from this, then you're an idiot.
Leonard of Quim was a renowned genius with the usual problem that geniuses have with relating to other people. He was clearly one of those people who started to look old around 30. And he wasn't exactly bald. It was more like his head had just grown up through his hair.
Ah. Actually, shouldn't you find a moment where Dan Avidan goes, oh, up there. I mean, he's done it a couple of times in the videos. Should add that to the sound effects. Oh, there. Hey, would you look at that? Those are the rooftops from the street view in the first game, I think. I mean, I think that's the window that Rincewind climbs through when he needs to get back down.
The gaping hole had been created by Malachite to escape from the palace. Leonard liked to think of it as a window. At that moment, I thought I heard the sound of someone at the door to my cell. My heart leapt to my throat and narrowly missed my tonsils. I had to get back to my cell and fast.
Hello, Nobby.
Newton. Nobby, what are you doing here?
I've come to let you go.
Does Vimes know you're here?
Yeah, he sent me.
What happened?
There's a witness to Malachite's murder. Saw the whole thing, although not very well. He couldn't identify the killer, but from the description we got from him, we can rule out you.
Huh.
So, I'm off the hook?
More or less.
Vimes must be livid.
I've seen him happier, but he's still convinced you're involved in this somehow.
I dare say he has a point, actually. But I'm not a cold-blooded killer, whatever he may think. Who was the witness?
A gargoyle up on the roof of the clerk's office on Salis Street.
What did he see?
I'm not supposed to discuss that with you. Come on, let's get you out of here.
You won't get any arguments from me.
Good thing one of those gargoyles up there was alive.
Right, here's your stuff.
Where's the crowbar?
We're keeping that as evidence.
Yeah, right. I'll see you around, Nobby. Thanks for coming to get me out. I appreciate it.
That's what friends are for, isn't it?
Friends are for getting you out of a holding cell?
Could be. I ain't got that many.
You won't get any argument from me. See you later. I had this feeling that I was caught in the middle of something big, but I still hadn't a clue what it was. All I could do was keep searching and hope that sooner or later I'd stumble upon the truth. Well, maybe not stumble, just very carefully put my foot on it and hope the other end didn't come up and hit me in the teeth.
Which Legend of Zelda game? Rumors say that the best friend will be there. It will be in there with you. True? I don't put much stock in them. Well, it depends if they're on the stocks. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Good joke, good joke. 10 out of 10. Ha! I don't think that's a very appropriate size of malachites. That is one of the worst chalk outlines I've ever seen. Especially when it's supposed to be malachite. Most of them they have a tendency to eat pigeons, also they can't close their mouths, so they talk almost solely in vowels. And apparently this Gable guy here is spouting water out of his mouth constantly. Ah, the original. Is it the beefed up version or the original? Aaron, my feelings. The beefed up version would be where they would start the game with full hearts and like full on bombs and arrows and the best armor already and beefed up the Master Sword. It's like a modded version of the game.
They'd put a chalk outline where Malachite had fallen. It really drove home how big that troll was.
Well, it looks smaller there than he did.
I couldn't think of a good reason to erase the chalk outline other than the giddy thrill of vandalism. The gargoyle's name was Clark's Gable, and he had witnessed what had happened on the roof with me and Malachite. It was probably the first exciting thing to happen to him in decades.
That name. Ugh. What a horrible pun. What an awful, awful name. Suddenly I'm in the mood to watch the most brutal revenge movie I can find. Most brutal. Death Wish, the original with Charles Bronson. Although the Bruce Willis remake was okay. Let's see, what else? Brutal revenge movies. I've seen plenty of them. I Spit on Your Grave. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. What was it called? I think it was like Nail Gun Massacre or something. Well, the Serbian film is not a revenge movie. It's just something. Machete? I'm not sure if Machete is a revenge movie. I guess you could call it a revenge movie. Kill Bill? Gabriel, that's the Exterminator. The Exterminator movies are the one with the flamethrower. Give us your blood and we'll give you some dates. Yeah, the 23 Skidoo. Never heard of that one, huh? Yeah, that's in the wasn't in the beefed up version. No, I think you're watching the original Legend of Zelda series, Zelda. 23 Skidoo. I'm trying to think of some other revenge movies, but I can't really think of any right now. At least nothing comes to mind. I've seen plenty of them, though. I'm just trying to think of some... Well, there is one that is a great one that is also brutal, Gabriel, that people usually don't think about, that it's a revenge movie, but in my opinion, it is kind of a revenge movie. RoboCop. Right? When you think about it. Well, if we go to westerns for revenge movies, then there's Unforgiven, True Grit, both the original and remake. What other western ones are good revenge movies? Yeah, Once Upon a Time in America. That's Armoton is the Unforgiven, and Huuliharppu Costa is Once Upon a Time in America. By brutal, I think I meant something more like least justified but still barely understandable reason for the vengeance. Least justified, but still barely understandable reason for the vengeance. Then I must think of the slasher movies. Usually a lot of slasher films, like from the 80s and 90s, they have like the worst kind of reason why the killer would start killing all the people. And there's plenty of them.
Are you the gargoyle that witnessed the troll's murder? Clark's Gable?
That's right.
I don't suppose you could talk a little more clearly.
Thing is, I have a gutter in my mouth.
Really?
Have you ever tried to speak with a gutter in your mouth?
This
Have
is
I
the
ever
voice
tried
acting
to
they
hit
went with.
A what?
A gutter. A gutter in your mouth.
Oh, with a gutter in my mouth.
Yes.
Sorry, I guess I haven't given much thought to the orally challenged.
That's okay. We're none of us perfect.
I heard you saw the murder that took place here the other night.
Sure did.
Mind if I ask you some questions about it?
Be my guest.
More like getting out of a pickle framing, perhaps. That's the kind you're looking for, Gabriel? Getting out of a pickle framing. With the least, justified reason. Getting out of a pickle. Yojimbo? That's a classic. Yojimbo? The game? Let's see. Getting out of a pickle. Kind of like they got framed, now they're gonna take it out on everybody. Payback. With, Payback with, that stars Mel Gibson. That's one of those kind of movies that has... That is just exactly what you're looking for, in my opinion. It's an entertaining movie, too. I've always liked it. It's a very... I have to say, Gabriel, the reason for him to do what he does in it, it is stupid. So it is exactly what you're looking for, in my opinion. So go for that one. Payback. No, Taken has a good reason. A strong reason. Why he's taking out everybody. And in Taken, he doesn't get framed or anything. He just hunts down the criminals that took his daughter. Perfect reason. What Gabriel is looking for a stupid reason to start taking down people. Or go against some, people. So, I would say Payback is the movie you're looking for. I already mentioned Kill Bill, but that is another where there's a good reason for it. Are you not hearing the explanations I'm giving here? Gabriel got it. Because I understood what Gabriel was looking for. After Sinlao cleared it out. And now I'm explaining what Gabriel's looking for. And everybody's giving us now movies that has a great reason why they're going after everybody.
So you're a gargoyle, then?
What kind of a conversation opening do you call that, eh?
Don't you get bored being stuck in the same place for so long?
You get used to it. Mating is a bit of a pain.
I actually just recently watched Kill Bill.
Patient.
Oh, I always have plenty of things to think about.
Such as?
Well, like, is it raining? Or doesn't that cloud look like a really big cloud?
Oh, the fun never stops when you're up on the rooftops.
You said it.
Also, shouldn't that gargoyle sound more like because of the water coming out of its mouth? They really did a good job acting here, didn't they? So you're a gargoyle on a rooftop and water is coming out of your mouth. Okay, I'll talk like this. Yeah, sounds good enough. Like, that should be a good effect. Yep, I don't really like Kill Bill though, because there isn't enough corrupt police. Also, being stuck in a coffin freaks me out. There. I was a goblin. I talk me like this. I mean, that makes sense. Because Zelda already explained that they only talk in vowels. Because they can't close their mouths. But then again, we're playing a video game, so they can't do. But you're not a gargoyle. You're a goblin. It's a different thing. There's a Norwegian Kill Bill spoof movie, Kill Buljo. Cheap, funny thing. And director actually made it to Hollywood a few years later. He made the Dead Snow movies. Ah, I know Dead Snow. I've seen the first. Very silly movie. You could watch the Max Payne movie if you want something else to be mad at. Nope. Don't give him something to get angry at. Don't give him a movie that will make him even angrier than he already is. Max Payne, played by Mark Wahlberg. During the era of The Happening. You don't know? You should know Marky Mark. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Mark Wahlberg, The Happening. Max Payne. The Good Guys. And Ted. Yeah, he's in Ted. I mean, surely, Gabriel, you have seen the memes of The Happening. Especially Mark Wahlberg's great acting line of, "What? No!" Well, The Good Guys actually is a good movie, Gabriel. Mark Wahlberg has, a roller coaster of a career. Good movies, bad movies. Good movies, bad movies. He's a good actor, but sometimes he's just cast in the wrong parts. Like Max Payne and The Happening. Imagine if they cast Keanu Reeves as Max Payne. It would have been a great Max Payne movie then. You're thinking of Matt Damon. Jason Bourne. Bourne Identity, Bourne Supremacy, Bourne, Jason Bourne, with Bourne.
Can you tell me what you saw the other night?
When the troll was killed, eh?
Has anything else interesting happened recently?
Well, I got a pigeon yesterday. That's a rarity. Mostly they steer clear of the rooftops that are colonised like gargoyles.
Putting that to one side, what did you see the other night?
Well, I can only tell you
Hey,
what
Schmonite.
I told the watch. I saw you and the big troll come up the ladder, only once you were on the roof, it was hard to make out what was going on because of the shadows. But I saw the troll get savaged repeatedly by some kind of creature, some kind of beast.
Beast?
A beast?
Yeah, that's the best description I can give you.
It's not much help, but thanks all the same.
What for?
For getting me out of jail.
No problem. Glad I could help. If you could toss the odd pigeon up here next time they're passing, I'd be grateful, yeah.
Is there anything more you can tell me about this bestial attacker?
Nah, nothing springs to mind.
How do gargoyles mate?
Very slowly.
I can imagine.
You can move, though.
Course. How do you think I got here in the first place,
Then why don't you?
Look, I don't criticise you for running about like your brain would stop if your body stopped moving. So don't criticise me and my lifestyle, eh?
Sorry, I didn't mean to cause any offense.
That's okay. We're none of us perfect.
Good one there, Zenlao, with Roger Rabbit. Good one. Did anybody actually see the new Invisible Man movie that came out a couple of like last year? Did it come out? I think it was last year, like early 2020.
Do you mind if I come back if I have any more questions?
I'm not going anywhere.
Bum, 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 bum. Ah! Our good old guard friends. Well, at least we are not Rincewind.
Two of the palace guards, ever vigilant for a potential intruder. Something like that, anyway. Two of the palace guards. Something like that, anyway.
I think you have also forgotten how to type, Zenlao. That's the most typos I've ever seen in somebody's text. Can't remember everything G because watched.late-childry. Butnit was watchable. One is a butnit.
Shouldn't you have stopped me by now?
What? What do you mean?
Well, I'm practically into the palace itself, and you haven't even asked who I am.
We can already tell you aren't important.
Not important? I might be a foreign spy.
Accent's too clean for that. I'd say you were born here in Ankh-Morpork.
How can you tell?
Accents. He knows them all.
Ah, hidden talents, eh?
We're guards. All our talents are hidden.
So, you're members of the illustrious palace guards, are you?
Illustrious? Do you know what it means to be a palace guard?
No.
We're arrow fodder.
Ah.
If anyone with half-decent skills breaks into the palace, you'll be picking our limbs out of the tapestries.
So why do you do it?
It beats being in the city watch.
And the uniforms are much nicer, too. You used to be in the City Watch, didn't you?
You can tell that from my accent.
Would I lie to you?
Their job is to take an arrow to the knee. That would be quite an interesting job. Get married.
So, you're an expert on accents.
Oh, yeah. I can tell all sorts of things about you.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
From the stress in your voice, I'd say you experienced a major emotional event about 8 years ago. You like to drink, but if you're not careful, you drink to excess. And you like whiskey.
That really is incredible. Anything else?
That's about it.
You didn't say which part of the city I was born in.
No, that's trickier.
You can tell that I drink whiskey from my accent, but you can't tell which part of the city I was born in.
Well, it comes and goes.
You don't know anything about accents, do you?
Of course he doesn't. He just has a good memory.
You were in the bucket a couple of years ago. You were probably too drunk to remember it.
A couple of years ago, I was too drunk to remember anything. So if you don't know anything about accents, how do you know I'm not a threat to the palace?
If you knew what it was we were guarding, you'd understand.
Is it really that dangerous working for the palace?
Oh, yeah. Our lives could come to a bloody end at any moment.
He's lying, of course. He's always lying. No enemies have ever entered Ankh-Morpork since it was founded.
What about the dwarf attack in the reign of Veltric II? Or the barbarian invasion in the time of Webblethorpe the Unconscious?
Well, of course, technically, we've been invaded quite frequently, but...
yeah, technically.
You know how it is. The guys arrive, they meet a nice local girl, and anyway, their leaders suddenly don't want all the big houses burned down because now they own them. And they find sleeping on real beds is a treat after all that time in the saddle. And what with one thing and another, it all ends peacefully.
In other words, you don't have much to do.
Well, there's a lot of standing around to do, but it's not like the golden age of the kings of Ankh.
The golden age?
Well, it was a time long enough ago that no one can remember how wretched it was.
Huh.
What is it you're guarding?
Every way into and out of the palace has to be guarded, and we guard one of those.
That's a little vague.
We guard the vital export of post-palatial merchandise.
We guard the trash heap.
That's what I said, wasn't it?
Where is it?
The trash heap? It's around the corner.
But don't steal anything. That's palace garbage. By royal appointment.
Well, by the patrician's appointment.
That's good enough for me.
Should be good enough for anybody.
Do you know a lot about the kings of Ankh?
Oh, sure. The whole history of the monarchy.
How come?
Oh, hanging around palaces. You pick up that kind of thing.
What happened to the kings of Ankh?
Well, the real line came to an end about 2,000 years ago. And after that, we got 17 centuries of a monarchy where the crown was available to anyone with enough soldiers and a strong stomach.
That couldn't have been very stable.
Stable? Ha! Not many lines survived more than 2 or 3 generations. Some of them didn't even make it to the end of the coronation feast.
The shortest reign on record was that of Loyola the Arg at 1.13 seconds.
Can't have been much of a monarch.
That's nothing. For a week, Ankh-Morpork was technically ruled by a wasp. And for several days, by the left foot of the High Priest of Io.
What?
Dropped the crown on it during the crucial point of the ceremony.
The foot was one of the better rulers, apparently. Made good decisions.
Are these all these things are in the books? Please tell me they're in the books, says Eldridge. Ah. 1.13 seconds ruling. I wonder what happened. Like they got coronated and in a second somebody killed them. Might have been mentioned, but if only Eldritch and the Celta were listening! Or at least answering my questions.
The empty barrels at the foot of the palace wall looked like they used to have wine in them. The palace walls were useful for keeping intruders out and keeping the roof in place. Looking closely, I could see the other side of the hole in the wall that I'd seen from inside Leonard's cell.
Screw the people. This game is more important. Just tell them to shut the fuck up and so you can continue watching the game. You're missing out on stuff. A lot of stuff. Because apparently people screaming outside is more important. So, like Gabriel said, you missed everything. But mostly, I just wanted to know if if in the books there were mentions of the kings of Ankh, like one ruler was a monarch for 1.13 seconds.
It always looked much easier in the clickies.
And then there was that the Ankh was ruled by a wasp for a week. And then there was the left foot of somebody.
Hello again, Leonard.
Yes.
Because apparently
hello?
they dropped
What are you
the
doing?
crown on the
I'm
foot
deeply
during the
immersed
coronation.
in a mechanical problem.
Can I help?
It's not likely.
I kept waiting for him to say something else, but he was lost in his work.
I guess we can never talk with Leonard. Best king was Whipplethorpe the unconscious. Let me guess, because they were unconscious at all times.
Useful though they are, an exit is just an exit. Right under the patrician's nose. It was just crazy enough to work.
Now we got a hiding place for Ilsa. It started raining? Wish it was raining here. I could see only a few clouds out there. Actually, when I look out the window, some of the clouds are making a face in the sky. And the face is frowning. I know the feeling! It's too hot. Nope, not in here. Need to go to the cellar. Ah, a crowbar.
A good-looking crowbar. Not that I'm saying it didn't need it, just that I'd figured I'd get away with stealing it. I've done it. I've found somewhere to hide him.
Where?
Where no one would even think about looking. Somewhere that only the patrician and I know exists, I reckon.
The patrician and you? What if the patrician finds two conkers there?
Two conkers should be able to hide without too much difficulty. Besides, I have a feeling that if Lord Veterinary meets two conkers, he'll have a different take on this situation. He doesn't like to see useful people get killed. Besides, I am sure this is the only place in Ankh-Morpork that he'll be safe from Remora. Is it okay to move him?
He should be okay.
To be feeling much better in thankings.
Sure he's not still delirious?
Sometimes I wonder.
Let's go. Hello again, Leonard.
Hello. I'm afraid I had to go back to the drawing tablet with the spinning blades radiating from central hub. It was too heavy. The device flew all right, but only in a downward trajectory.
That is looking like some kind of fluttering machinery.
Yes, I call it a flapping wing flying device, but it isn't working yet.
May I take a look?
Be my guest.
Are you to be considering the increasings of the wingtitude?
The span of the wings? I considered it, but the weight is still the problem.
What if you be using bombastic wood for the frame?
It hadn't occurred to me that two conkers would have any practical skills, but I guess you didn't carry out complex excavations without learning a thing or two about engineering. I left him to get to know Leonard and hooked up with Ilsa. She had a deal to keep.
Yeah, to get us to the
With
archaeologists.
two conkers safely hidden away, Ilsa kept her word. She took me straight to the guild and signed me in as her personal guest.
Nice. Laredo. Nice looking woman. I wonder if she's Lara Croft. Well, it makes sense that they would have Indiana Jones music.
The fireplace was home to a roaring fire, providing light and warmth. There was something distracting about it, but I couldn't work out what. Laredo Crunch.
Yeah, it's Lara Croft.
The awkwardly nubile tomb evacuator and the focus of the fantasies of 1,000 post-pubescent adolescents.
Yep.
I had to admit there was something about her. Excuse me, can you help me?
That depends on what you want.
I'm new here. I'm just trying to get a feel for the place.
Are you a member?
Not yet.
What's your name?
Luton.
Laredo Kronk. Pleased to meet you, I'm sure.
The pleasure is all mine.
Of course it is. So you're a guest, are you?
Is that a bad thing?
Only in so much as 8 out of 10 guests who confessed a preference stole something before disappearing.
I'm not going to steal anything, trust me.
No, I think you're wrong. You are going to steal something, but don't worry about it. Almost everything the Guild of Archaeologists owns is stolen, and frankly, they should expect people to steal from them.
Do you steal from them?
Golly, no! I never steal from any building less than 1,000 years
Golly!
old, and with really exciting puzzles.
There was a certain appeal to the feisty tomb evacuator that I couldn't deny. So, what do you do for a living?
I'm a tomb evacuator.
And what does that involve?
It's a lot of fun. It means breaking into ancient buildings within which no man or woman has walked for thousands of years. Apart from whoever it is who leaves all those medical kits, of course.
Of course.
And working my way through fiendish traps and puzzles, and eventually stealing some priceless treasure.
And do you sell the treasure?
Goodness, no! I'm far too well-bred for that. I bring it here, and have to watch as they slam it into a vault that nobody will look in.
A vault?
Forget I said that. Suffice it to say, the Guild of Archaeologists has a priceless collection of artifacts, but no one gets to see them.
Isn't that a waste?
Well, nobody said archaeology was rewarding.
Why do you do it then?
For the excitement, silly, and the fame. Everyone has heard of Laredo Kronk.
I hadn't.
Well, most people have. I was on the front cover of Archaeologists Monthly twice last year.
I don't read it.
Those long words can be so tiresome, can't they?
Isn't it always funny in like the Tomb Raider games or any other that you go into an ancient place that is like hundreds or thousands of years old, and you find med kits and modern weaponry, even bullets and all kinds of stuff in there, just hidden in some places or just floating around. It's like, how did they get here? How is this possible that these things are here when nobody's been here for ages? It's like the silliest thing in those games. Lit torches, yeah. Nobody's been here for 1,000 years. How are the torches lit? At least in Zack McCracken, they made it sensible, because those torches are never lit. You have to find them to light them up, so you can get through those mazes.
So, what does a tomb evacuator do?
Nothing special. I break into places where priceless antiquities have been locked away for centuries, overcome the elaborate and convoluted security systems, defeat my rivals, and make away with the treasure. Typical day's work, really.
So, you must be pretty rich then.
Oh, I've got absolutely pots of money. Anyway, the whole thing with the tombs and so on is just a hobby. And of course, it's great for making friends.
What? Among fiendish tomb-guarding monsters?
No, I kill all those. I meant people are always asking me things like, how do you get to the third ledge in the tomb of Tex-Mex cuisine? What's a walkthrough?
Never heard of it.
People are always asking me for one. I hope it's nothing to do with sex.
My mind just boggled. Sorry. Broken into anywhere interesting, have you?
Well, I knocked over the
Tex-Mex
Grand
cuisine.
Temple of Offler several times. Such sillies. Every time they get the Tear of Offler back, I take it. It's getting a bit boring recently. Then there's the Catacombs of Genua. And
Genua.
the Temple of Anu Anu at Al-Khali. I don't know. It's all a little routine. I'd like to do something new for a change.
Ever thought about retiring?
I'd love to, but the public seem to want me.
Now I wonder if Tex-Mex cuisine is a thing in the books. I know Genua is, because we just talked about Genua. In Discworld, there is a torch fairy who keeps those torches lit. Okay, that explains it. I guess they just added here as a joke.
You mentioned vaults.
I told you to forget I mentioned that.
I take it all the treasure that people find is kept in vaults under the guild.
I shouldn't discuss that with you since you're only a guest.
Worried I'm going to steal something?
Worried? No. I'm certain you're going to steal something. I just don't care.
Why not?
I'm very philosophical about this sort of thing. It's like I said, everything in the guild is stolen. It seems only fitting that someone else should get to steal it back. Assuming they can overcome the traps, of course.
Then why don't you tell me about the vaults, if you don't care?
I wasn't about to ask. Do you know a troll by the name of Horst?
Jasper Horst. Yes, I know him. Horst and I go way back. And I don't mean that in a good way.
How do you know Horst?
You could say that he and I are rivals. We have this uncanny habit of turning up in the same place at the same time, looking for the same archaic treasure.
Huh.
You sound bitter.
Well, I always win, of course. But that doesn't mean I don't resent his interference.
Must keep your life interesting, though.
Perhaps. I could stand a little less excitement in my life, though.
What do you know about the counterweight killings?
Sorry, I'm not interested in politics.
Well, murders are not really politics.
What can you tell me about a golden sword?
Huh, you'll have to be more specific than that. Golden swords aren't that uncommon, you know. I must have evacuated about 30 in my career, and that's not including the golden daggers, golden lances, and golden kebab skewers.
I'm sorry.
The ancients seemed to think that gold was the best material to build everything out of, and I mean everything. The ziggurats of Tizuma had golden cutlery, golden swimming pools, golden bed sheets, and golden chamber pots.
Really?
Well, not anymore because I stole it all.
Bed
but for a while
sheets?
it was very impressive.
Who could ever sleep in golden bed sheets? It's made out of gold.
Have you heard of a gold-plated jewel with the words Unquam Paratus inscribed on it?
That's the jewel Two Conkers is looking for, isn't it?
Yes.
He seems to think it's here in Ankh-Morpork.
And you don't?
If there was a valuable antiquity protected by an intricate and ancient security system anywhere in Ankh-Morpork, I'm sure I would have already found it.
But since, just think about it. You make a bedsheet out of golden thread. How heavy it is. It's got gold in it. Yeah, but this is a bed sheet. It means that it's the thing that you sleep on, not the what you put on yourself.
Do you know Ilsa and Two Conkers? I understand they're members of the guild.
Why, of course. I have a lot of respect for them. Of course. They do all that boring excavation work, which isn't really my thing. Still, someone has to do the boring stuff, I guess. Not everyone can lead an exciting, action-packed life like me.
Do you know a dwarf named Alkali?
Oh yes, one of Horst's cronies. Well, some of the time. We've sparred with each other a couple of times.
What do you make of him?
He's a treacherous, rat-like man, and you do well to stay away from the likes of him.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
Oh, come on. Turn off. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, we got a lot of information out of her. Although I don't know how to use this information. I mean, she apparently is a rival with Horst. Should I go talk to Horst about her or other stuff?
Mr. Luton, it is always a pleasure to see you. I trust you have brought something with you that will be to my liking.
I haven't brought you the sword yet, if that's what you mean.
I'm a patient troll, sir, but there are limits to my patience.
A woman named Laredo Crunk is in town. It seems to me that you might know her.
Laredo is here in Ankh-Morpork? Really? I thought that we had dealt with her in the temples of Tezuman. She is full of surprises, that one. Would you do me a favor, sir, as one friend to another?
Perhaps. It depends on the favor.
But of course, your prudence continues to speak well of you. I'd like for you to arrange a meeting with Laredo for me.
It seems as if I'd be doing you a favor. It seems as if I should be getting something in return.
Very well. Arrange this meeting for me, and we can discuss the sword in detail. Do we have an agreement?
Works for me. I'll go give her the news. I can't guarantee she'll turn up, though.
Oh, she'll come. We have much to discuss.
I'll be back to continue our conversation.
And hopefully to seal
Okay,
our
so
deal, sir. I look forward to it.
Oh, we cannot go to the pier anymore.
Ankh-Morpork was home to around 300 guilds, most of which festered in the space between Unseen University and the Patrician's Palace like fungus. From the Assassin's Guild to the Beggar's Guild, everyone a proud group of individuals basking in their mutual I hated them for their smugness. I hated their petty bickering. But most of all, I hated that I wasn't part of one. I wasn't an expert on dogs, but I thought that this black, thoroughbred dog was a Klatchian hound, also known as the Kelef Klatchani. Small, proud, and ruthless. The Kelef Klatchani were prized by dog breeders throughout the Circle C. What this one was doing out on the streets was anyone's guess.
No, don't leave.
I headed back the way I came. I couldn't shake the feeling I was being watched. I thought about petting the dog, but there was something about the way he looked that made me think twice, maybe even 3 times about it. The guild coat of arms was clearly displayed, along with the guild motto, Serpentis Odi.
I wonder what that means. I mean, Serpentis, like snake or serpent?
Now I'd been signed in as a guest. I could just knock on the hatch and he'd have to let me back in. I'm back.
Apparently so.
I've got a message for you from Horst.
Horst is in Ankh-Morpork.
Absolutely. He wants to meet with you to discuss certain matters arising.
Super.
I have to say that it's probably a trap.
Of course it's a trap. That's what makes it
Serpentus
interesting. I'll
Odi.
see you later, Luton.
Best of luck.
You too.
Laredo made her way over to Horst's quarters and didn't look back. I had no idea what the two had to talk about, but I was sure it would lead to a new and exciting adventure, one even more complex and challenging than her last. For the time being at least, Laredo was out of the way.
The guild's motto, as mentioned in Discworld Noir, is Semper Serpentis Odi, which roughly translates I hate snakes, apparently expressing the opinion of a fellow archaeologist, Dr. Jones. Yeah, I wonder who that is. Hey there, funky fire monkey.
It was only a small bookcase, but it might have something interesting on its shelves. I browsed aimlessly through the bookcase, and I noticed that one of the books was connected to the bookcase by a hinge. I wasn't an expert, but I was pretty sure the hinged book was a switch of some kind. I heard a faint click, and the next thing I knew, the fireplace was revolving. I won't bore you with the details of the guild's security system. After all, if you've seen one intricate and fatal collection of pits and traps, you've pretty much seen them all. Suffice to say, it took a lot of trial and error, some scorched eyebrows, and more levers than I could count.
Let me check. Discworld Noir Easter eggs. Because I'm sure I've seen this a picture of this moment somewhere about Discworld. Like there's an Easter egg with this.
One of the vaults grabbed my attention more than the others, Vault 51. Whereas most of the vaults were open, this one was sealed behind a large oak door with the words Nil Introitus written on it. I once knew a man who had that tattooed on his buttocks.
Nil introitus. So it probably means no entry.
Up on the wall of Vault 51 was a sign reading Unseen Securities, Magical Alarms, Wards, and Hexes. I guess a place like this needed the best security around.
Good thing I know somebody who works in the unseen security.
There was a panel by the oak door with runes on it.
We have been turned into a
this
frog.
Wasn't turning out to be one of my better days.
There, we're fine. Hooray! I did an Easter egg. But also, apparently, this is an Easter egg too. That you can do some fun things with the mirror. But
Carlotta backwards looked a bit like Atodrad. Alkali backwards looked like Ijakja.
what else can we do here?
Ilsa and Two Conkers didn't look like much of a couple, even in the mirror. Beyond seeing reflections, the mirror was fairly useless.
So some things will give us some funny responses.
Beyond...
But I guess it only works with names and such.
Horst, in the mirror, looked like Titu Raw. Beyond seeing the mirror...
Tituro. That's all that I have. Aha! How about these?
The reflection of Azil looked like 3 Jisa, even more meaningless. The reflection of 3712V looked like VSITE. V-Site? What the hell was that supposed to be?
What the hell was that supposed to... He gets so angry, jeez. It was just a mirror image of it. Cool down, man. That was a good one. Possible Easter egg? Now, where was I going? I was so focused on the Easter eggs. Right, now I remember. Now, so apparently there's an Easter egg if I double click on the corners of the map. They'll do something. But I'm not sure if I'm able to activate it. No, didn't work. Did not work. Now let's go talk to the person I need to.
Can we talk? We can talk.
It's not you, though. I need to talk to Warb.
Hello again, Warb.
Luton.
Luton. And cursor.
Hello again, Warb. You're a regular in here.
I guess I'm not.
I thought always.
What? Do you know how many bizarre and unpleasant ways? What? You all
don't you? It all.
Well, glad it's.
Well, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Would you like this charm?
I think this charm bracelet is worth something to you.
Really?
The charms are carved from serendipitous redwood. It's a genuine luck bringer.
Where did you get it? And if it's so lucky, why do you want to give it to me?
It used to belong to Reagan, and I'm not going to give it to you, but I might trade it to you.
Reagan, the dwarf, yeah. I remember seeing him wear it at the tables. Do you think that was why he always won?
I'm no expert, but anything's possible.
You're right. I'm interested. What do you want for it?
What have you got?
I haven't got any money. Actually, I don't think I've got anything of any value to offer at all.
I guess we'll just have to think of something.
How about the Vault 51?
I have an idea of what you can trade me for the bracelet.
Go on.
You work for Unseen Securities, right?
Yeah.
Well, I need to get into Vault 51 under the Guild of Archaeologists, and you can help me.
No. That's a bad idea. I could get into serious trouble.
Face it, Warb, your life's a mess. You've got nothing to lose. But if this charm bracelet is as good as it seems, it could make a world of difference to you.
Whoa, if they traced a break-in back to me, my life wouldn't be worth living.
In the first place, no one is going to know I broke in. And in the second place, there's no reason they need to trace it back to you. And in the third, your life is already not worth living. What difference is this going to make?
Oh, maybe you're right. All right, I'll do it.
How do I switch off the security system for Vault 51?
I don't know what their watchword is, but all the unseen security systems have a back passage.
What's that?
It's a way to switch them off that only we know about.
What is it?
You'll have to find the rune panel.
Welcome back, Goblin!
What's it look like?
Yeah!
It's a small panel with runes marked on it.
I have no idea what
Touch
that
the
voice
right
was.
runes in sequence to switch it off.
What's the sequence for the back passage?
Give me the bracelet first.
Here you are. Now, what's the sequence for the back passage?
Whatever the runes are on the panel, make an X, starting in the top left and finishing in the bottom left. That's the back passage.
A pleasure doing business with you, Warb.
You won't tell anyone about this, will you?
Don't worry. I'm feeling honorable today.
Zelda, why are you saying welcome back? Oh, to yourself. Yeah, because you came back from dishwashing and nobody said welcome back. Sorry. 35k infections and rising, and your lovely government wants to lift restrictions. Doesn't Britain know how to handle anything? Even in America, they're smarter than the British. What's happening to Britain?
Maybe I'll see you later.
I mean, once the pandemic started, UK has become like the dumbest country. Or something. I'm quite surprised that there hasn't been like a revolution or something against the British government. They ain't Brazilian numbers. True. But you gotta remember, man, again, South America, yeah, not the best country having the best facilities for, you know, stuff. Brazil, especially, lots of crime and such there, you know. Pretty sure that was the voice of Nigel Planner who narrated a lot of Discworld audiobooks. It is. He's one of the voice actors in this game. He was in the Discworld 2 as well. But then again, I don't follow news because I don't care. I don't want to see or hear about the numbers. Because that's only bad news and I don't want to hear bad news. English can confirm both sides of our government are shoe-eating morons. Alright, how about we get into the vault now? Now that we can.
I'd traded Reagan's charm bracelet to Warb for the unseen security's back passage code. All I had to do was find the rune panel and make an X. Just as Warb had told me, I made an X on the control panel. I just hoped he was telling the truth.
Oh, that did it.
One of the vaults grabbed my... Whereas I once knew...
Well.
Vault 51. I couldn't deny it. It made a big impression on me. Not quite as big an impression as some of the traps on the way would have done, but at least the impression it was making wasn't fatal.
I was expecting a huge place, and that's what I got.
Vault 51 was filled with crates and displays of all shapes and sizes. I couldn't even begin to guess what treasures were lost in its cavernous interior. Perhaps even that pen I lost the other week. The crates were labeled with some kind of 4-digit reference number, and there did seem to be some sort of a pattern as to how they were organized.
Well, I'm sure we have a way of finding what we are looking for. A bad idea, but the religion is strong there. Can't help it.
I worked my way around the vault towards Exhibit 3712V.
A cabinet of urns.
The glass cabinet contained urns from Zorta and was labeled 3711 to 3713V. It was one of the most boring things I've ever seen. The fat urn was clearly a very ancient piece of pottery,
It looked very boring indeed. The tall urn was probably a priceless antiquity, but I really didn't care. The small urn was as boring as the other 2 urns. There wasn't much I could do to the cabinet with my bare hands.
Bash it with your crowbar?
Great idea. Shame it won't work unless you're a playtester or you've hacked the game.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well. Don't put it back.
The troll's tooth scored through the cabinet's glass like an accountant through a rich man's wallet.
What do we find?
I smashed the tall urn into tiny pieces.
Aha!
And inside was the golden sword. Finally, this was it. The artifact that Carlotta, Horst, and who knows how many other people were looking for. Frankly, it was a bit of an anticlimax. I expected it to at least glow a little, or perhaps sing to itself quietly, or hum with the stolen souls of 1,000 men. But it just felt cold and hard in my hand, like any other sword. Suddenly it came over me that everything would go wrong. It sounds crazy, but it's true, so help me. I couldn't hear my footsteps. It was the walk of a dead man.
Dead man walking. Is this gonna be the moment that I'm thinking of? Let's find out if this is the moment that I'm thinking of.
When I made it out of the guild alive, I thought I was home free. But there was something wrong. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I knew I was in danger. I'm not a suspicious man, but I am a cautious man. I decided then and there to start running, and not look back until my office door was safely locked behind me. But something else had plans for me not to make it that far.
Yep, this is the beginning of the intro movie. Now we've caught up in the story. I mean, this is the intro movie that started the whole game. Everything else thus far has been a flashback. We all know how this ends, right? Nope.
I don't know when I first began to suspect that I wasn't dead. I guess it must have been when I realized I was thinking about whether or not I was dead. The anthropomorphic entity with the scythe hadn't turned up, so I figured I was either alive or undead. And it didn't take me long to work out which.
Speaking of werewolves,
I wandered through the streets in a daze, not really knowing what was going on. At first, I couldn't make out any colors. Then gradually the city came alive with vast clouds of pigmentation. Against it all, there was an ever-present mist of bright green, cloying and unpleasant. There was a dissonance about it that I couldn't place, until I realized I was smelling the rank odor of the River Ankh.
I was smelling the world in a way I wouldn't have thought possible. Every smell fascinated me. The resonant scents combined into a symphony. Every street was an opera, every lamppost an invitation. I don't know how long I wandered the streets. It's hard to tell which way is up when your world has been turned upside down. I ended up back where I started because I didn't know what else to do. Plus, my coat was in the coffin, and Ankh-Morpork is a bad neighborhood to be caught naked in.
Please insert CD to her.
Woof, woof.
I haven't got anything to eat, if that's what you want.
Woof, woof, woof.
I haven't got any idea what's going on either.
Woof, bloody woof.
Hey!
That's pretty sharp. Most people don't catch on to that.
What did you say?
Woof, woof.
You can talk, can't you? I mean, really talk.
Nothing gets past you, does it?
How did you do that?
Well, I can sort of talk.
Nonsense. If there was a talking dog in Ankh-Morpork, I'd have heard about it.
Well, the thing is, most people don't seem to notice it.
Is this gas code?
Yeah, right. Like you wouldn't notice a talking dog.
I think that's gas code.
Seems like people only see what they expect to see.
How philosophical of you.
I just calls them as I see them.
So how come I can tell you can talk?
I don't claim to understand it, I just do it.
Do you know what's happened to me?
I'm guessing you didn't know you were a werewolf till you woke up this morning.
I'm a werewolf. That explains what's happening to me. I thought somebody slipped something into my embalming fluid.
First order of business is to train you up then.
Hold it right there. I don't need your help.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. Look at yourself. What's your name?
Luton. I'm a private investigator. Well, I was. Then I was dead. Then I was, well, a werewolf, I suppose.
You were only technically
I guess
dead.
I spoke too soon. Maybe I do need your help. What's your name?
Gaspode,
Yeah!
the Wonder Dog.
It is gas code.
The Wonder Dog?
Hey, don't knock the name. I was named after the famous Gaspode.
Never heard of him.
Most people haven't. He belonged to an old man in Ankh many years ago. When the old man died and was buried, Gaspode lay down on his grave and howled for a couple of weeks, growling at anyone who came near. Then he died.
And they called him the Wonder Dog because he was such a paragon of doggy faithfulness and loyalty.
Sure.
Until they discovered that his tail had been trapped under the stone, yeah.
How do you think I became a werewolf?
Well, presumably you got
What a gruesome
bit by
man.
a werewolf.
Bitten.
Right. Lesson 1. Don't correct me grammar. All right?
Sorry.
Okay. Well, once I've trained you, I suggest that the first thing you do is try and work out how you got infected.
Infected?
With lycanthropy. It's the blood disease that werewolves have.
Uh-huh.
Now, since you don't have any cubhood memories of romping with your pack, I reckon it's a safe bet that you got infected somehow.
So someone I know is a werewolf.
Give the wolf a cigar.
So can I change between being a wolf and a man at will?
Sort of. There's a certain way the change works.
The change?
There's two things you've got to learn about being a werewolf. The nose and the change.
The nose?
Yeah, the nose. Werewolves have a unique perception of the world, a different point of smell.
I've noticed that. I can see scents as colors, and they have a certain feel about them, too.
Those colours are unique. Each smell has its own signature colour. So you can tell whether or not someone has been somewhere by whether or not you can see their scent there.
Even as a man?
No, only when you're a wolf.
And how do I switch between forms?
That's what the change is all about. It's a skill you've got to learn how to do. Now, you've already used it to turn into a wolf. Soon, you'll be able to change whenever you wanna.
How did I change this time if I didn't know how?
That's the other thing about the change. You have to change at the full moon. I guess that's what brought this on in the first place. Other times, it's voluntary.
So can I change now?
Give it a try.
At first I didn't know what to do, but Gaspode talked me through it.
Ah, so it's in our inventory.
Then, when I could see the world in all its psychedelic glory, Gaspode started teaching me about the nose.
You look around, tell me what you see, as a wolf.
There's a lot of colors.
Phew. I can see how you
Fifth
became
elephant?
a private investigator. You get a lot more information about scents with your werewolf sense.
The fifth elephant?
You can see them as colours.
I can see a mist of bright green surrounding everything. And there's something that looks like a long stream of purplish red
Ah, the
cloud
book.
with some tiny fluorescent greenish yellow-purple specks in it. Also, there's a ground fog of some kind of unpleasant blue.
Well, the bright green is the stench of the River Ankh. No mistaking that. That long stream of cloud sounds like the scent of someone having gone through the cemetery recently. Does it smell like a privy carpet?
No, it smells like Carlotta, but with less treble.
Well, it wasn't me then. I guess I'm the ground fog of unpleasant blue.
Who was it?
I don't know who it was, but it was someone.
I can't see my own scent.
Well, that's normal. You're so used to being around it that it's invisible to you. And that's handy for me, what with my stench and all.
So I can follow the purplish scent to find this person.
If you want, and assuming you don't lose the trail, other smells eventually drown scents out, especially out on the streets.
What about the coruscating dots?
What's it like?
It's like flashing green, yellow, purple.
Is it like mature mould with an earthy echo?
No.
At some point, I'll be able to play the
Dunno
game a
what
little
it
bit.
is. See where else you find it, and you might be able
I'm
to
sure
work
at some
out what
point.
it is.
According to Gaspode, I could learn a lot from comparing different scents. I figured that could come in handy in my line of work. Assuming I could change back to being human, that is. I gave it my best shot.
Nicely done.
I learned from a master.
Right, that's about it. Apart from the full moon, you can be whatever you want to be. But as of the full moon, you're sniffing lampposts with the rest of us.
Don't ask how he kept his clothes. Act 3. We're a werewolf. Finally, I can save the game. Huh? I can save the game and end the stream. Ugh, it's getting late. I would love to continue the game, but it's just getting too late. Starting to get tired. And oh boy, baby! We can be a werewolf now! Ain't that cool? There is a theory that originally there were 5 elephants on the shell of Great Atuin, but the 5th fell to the disk and became the mountains of somewhere. And that's why they're both full of minerals and other valuable resources and also a very contested territory. Huh. Interesting theory.